podcast on the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.
Live stream up in this bitch. Hello, live stream. Nick's here. The frog's here. Denny.
Hello, everyone. How are you? It's Monday evening. I'm ready to drink some beer and get drunk on the epic motherfucking film, guys. Or should I call it epic motherfucking frog, guys? Podcast. Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. All right. Shall we roll in here live?
Yeah.
Welcome,
Let's
stream.
do it.
Everybody,
Yeah.
welcome. Jared, welcome. No, Jared, I just don't shave. I shave once every like 3 months. That's, it just grows back in eventually. And then I'm like, whatever.
It looks good trimmed. I like it long, but it looks good trimmed. You look nice and stylish.
You know, my beard decides to grow like this, like a fucking lion's mane, like out from the sides of my head. If I let it grow long enough, they're literally like on the camera right now on the live stream, there'd just be this giant orb of hair all around my head. If I just let it go long enough, like my sideburns would just fucking be like,
Your side beards?
My side beards. All right. God, we have absolutely nothing. By the way, stream, we have nothing to talk about tonight. Legitimately nothing. I don't know what Justin's done during the week, but it's all on him. We're putting everything on Justin's shoulders. I have seen nothing. I have done nothing.
That's not true. No, that's not true at all. You've seen something. I'm sure you've watched something. Have you not watched anything? You didn't watch any television. You didn't watch anything.
I've been watching diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Okay. Well, I've been watching like
today. Do you want to go
like
to Flavortown tonight?
I've been watching cooking stuff. Well, not necessarily cooking stuff, but watching like BuzzFeed stuff today. Kaya was showing me the show where these two like early 20-something guys go and try out like 3 different price points of a certain kind of food. So like a cheap burger, like a middle-ranged burger, then like a really expensive burger that's like $150. I don't know. Whatever. I watch random shit like that too. So I'm not just movies, guys. That's not all that I am, even though you'd like to think so. Well, there is that Terminator news we could talk about. I know that Jared Taylor. That's right. You're going to get the for the last name there as we do.
Destruction.
Yeah.
Human form.
He posted that new Terminator news
The hell?
in the Hosters dumpster, and what happened?
Did you guys hear that? Killed? That was weird.
Did someone get killed?
No, they said destruction in human form, and then all of a sudden there was this loud.
Oh my god, dude! That
Jared, what are you doing?
Blew out my fucking left eardrum. Seriously, dude.
Jared's been spending literally all of his time at breweries in Oklahoma, and I'm super fucking jelly.
Well, that's amazing, dude.
Right? I'm like so goddamn jealous.
I want to go to
let's
breweries
go ahead
in Oklahoma
and roll into the show here in 5, 4, 3, 2. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand spanking new, so brand new it's cleaner and softer than Denny's ass.
What the hell
Nothing. That's what.
You know, not quite as clean as Loy Sauce's. Well, I can't say it on the air. That's not fair to say.
I don't think
shouldn't
anything
say
is
that.
quite as clean as
No.
that. You know,
Loy sauce.
absent once again.
He claims that he's going to see Rampage and he'll be providing us with a review by tomorrow. We'll see if that actually happens. He said that about Soderbergh's Unsane. That never happened. We'll see if Rampage actually comes through. I didn't
You know what
see
you
it.
need to
You didn't
do?
see it.
Invite him over to the house. Invite him over to your house. Let him sit down in the chair in front of your computer, and then just duct tape his ass there, hog tie him, and he can't get up or leave until he does a review.
Well, to be fair, he did have something really important to do today, Nick. He had to put a lot of effort into getting Deadpool 2 tickets on sale, and I guess they're now available for purchase at Alamo Draft House, and I assume that means Fandango for all theaters. So all of you out there listening, by the time you hear this, it'll be Thursday. Get your tickets to Deadpool 2. It's going to be huge. And I keep forgetting that that's coming up as well.
Huge.
Yeah, man.
You
So
know, I'm just
Deadpool
in like Avengers Infinity War mode. Tonight on the stream, we are going to be recording Phase 2, another mini-sode for Phase 2. Expect a whole lot of the Nick's Rants music and a whole lot of, I don't know, just fart noises and whatever. I don't know. We could just do... There we go.
Like I said earlier in the patron only segment, I'm like, can we just do our shortest episode ever where it's like 5 seconds, maybe less than that, and just be like, they all suck. It's over. It's done. But no, we're not going to do that to you guys. We know that you out there that
How
take
dare
the
you.
time to listen to us, they want to listen to us talk about all the movies, even the shitty ones, especially the shitty ones, because we have the most fun, I think, with the shitty ones in the end anyway. So
Oh, we're going to have some fun tonight then, because, man, is Marvel Phase 2 a fucking dumpster fire, with exception of one
bit, yeah.
very, very, very huge exception in
Very,
Captain
very
America,
good.
the Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
Also in Epic Film Frog, the first lily pad of meant something. No?
I knew you'd say that.
Judge Dredd, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of Judge Dredd, man, are you just like...
Sly.
I feel like you're just
Yeah.
Stallone's stalker now. Now you're just showing up in the background of random photos he's in. Like,
Yeah, so I got a text this morning, dude, from a buddy of mine. He was like, "Dude, you're on Getty Images." I was like, "What?" And then he sent me the photo, and it's like it's crystal clear. It's like, but it's me looking at my fucking phone, but it's still, there's a picture, an official, actual picture of me behind Sylvester Stallone as he's smiling, and it's awesome. It's pretty awesome. I don't give a shit. I mean, I wish I had known the picture was being taken, because I would have turned around and gone like this. And
now see,
smile.
we need to have a
photobombed
discussion,
him or
you and me.
something.
We need to have a discussion
Okay.
about branding. If you're going to be randomly just showing up in photographs behind movie stars, we're going to need to start like painting the Epic Film Guys logo on you and shit.
Dude, I meant to take a picture. There is an Epic Film Guys sticker right next to the Rocky statue in Philadelphia at the Museum of Art. However, I'm pretty sure they probably removed it already, but I didn't get a chance to get a picture of that because I slapped it on really, really quickly. So we're there at Spear. And I did actually plaster a bunch of stickers in downtown Washington, D.C. over the weekend when I was there. So, but yeah, I mean, for
You
me,
give some
man,
to
I don't,
Trump.
I never go over to the White House.
I feel
haven't
like
been over
Trump
near
would
the
dig
White
the
House
show.
since he's been in office, dude. The last time I went even remotely close to the White House was when Obama was still in office, and I never go anywhere near there at all. Never. And I don't think anyone else does either, because you walk past it or you drive past it, there's no one over there getting pictures in front of it. There's like no one over there. No one gives a shit. They don't. Just saying. No one goes over there anymore. It used to be, I remember when I went over there, I first moved here and Obama was still in office. People were just packed, dude. People were just like sitting, eating lunch on the lawn out in front of it. And like, they would just go over there and chill. And not now. There's like no traffic over there at all.
You know what I need? You know what we need, Justin? We need a soundbite of Donald Trump or the best Trump impersonator we can find to drop one of these bad boys on us.
I sucked a dick last night.
That's what we need. We need that. Can we have that?
But he doesn't really, I don't think of him as the one that would be doing that. I feel like he'd be the one that getting it in the behind. I feel like he'd be the one that's getting it. Like he's the submissive one.
Well,
I don't
Justin,
know,
I'm
like,
sorry, but I don't
Wesley
have an I'm
Pounding?
getting cornholed right now sound effects.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait. There we go. Does that work?
Good enough. I love it. I love it. But what, dude, what the hell? What have you been up to? What did you do over the weekend? Anything at all? Did you do anything?
Man, I've just been busting my ass trying to prepare things, get things ready for the live stream for The Cure 2.0. Lots and lots of stuff to talk about with the live stream for The Cure 2.0. I think maybe we'll bury it a little bit later in the show. We've been leading off every show with live stream for The Cure news. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do just humor me here. We're going to go ahead and dump one of those live stream for The Cure promos at you right now. I'm Nick.
And I'm Justin. We are the Epic Film Guys, and we'd like just a moment of your time to talk about an extremely important event coming up this May.
Last year, we hosted the live stream for The Cure, a 12-hour live stream fundraiser where we raised $2,500 for the Cancer Research Institute.
86 cents out of every dollar raised goes to research toward finding a cure.
And this year, we're aiming to smash that goal, and we need your help to do it.
Join us from May 18th through the 20th for 30 hours of amazing live stream content from us and a whole host of amazing podcasters who will be joining us to try to reach $5,000.
For more information, please visit www.livestreamforthecure.com. Together, we can make a difference. And, we'll talk about some stuff that's going to be happening with the live stream for The Cure a little bit later. There's not anything really new happening with it. It's basically just beating those drums, getting the word out there about this event. As I announced last week on the show, remember, if you are going to be taking part in the show as part of a featured programming block, we're running a contest, Justin. Whoever raises the most money in a half-an-hour block, whatever show during their featured programming block, they have a chance to win a $50 Epic Film Guys prize pack. It's going to be absolutely amazing. That will not be part of the prize pack, I assure you. That was the weirdest look you've ever given. It was weird. Is Danielle in the kitchen making a sandwich?
She just walked in the door. She just texted me while I'm on the air and said, "The door is locked. You must come unlock the door." And I text her and say, "What door are you referring to?" And then she just walks in the door. So I have no idea. So as you can see, she's here behind me. We have this crazy beast here.
Go
on the live stream. Goji the Frenchie, the epic film dog herself, who wants to get boozed up. And
can you just put the headset on Goji and just get away? Just leave Goji there.
Say hello, Gojo.
She's just like, all right, I'm done. I've had enough of this.
Get out of here, Ma. Get out of here. Get out of here. Mommy's home. That's all she cares about.
That's very true.
Kids and dogs and rats and kids and women and everything else. God damn it. I just want to drink beer and talk movies.
Drink beer and talk movies. One last thing, Justin, for the live stream for The Cure. We'll talk about it a little bit more later on in the show, but I want to give a huge shout out right here at the top of the show to the Afterburn 739 crew, Leo, Cobra, Midgie, Fez, and Kitty. They are actually also doing a merchandise drive to sell as much merchandise as they can, and they are donating all of the profits from selling Afterburn merchandise to the live stream for The Cure. And that's absolutely amazing. So thank you very much, Leo, and the whole gang there in Scrishbar. You guys are absolutely amazing. And a lot of the way that this event has brought so many shows together to try to do some good and to try to raise $5,000 for cancer research is amazing. So thank you guys very, very much. But in terms of my weekend, Justin, no, I didn't do a goddamn thing. I worked overtime Saturday, and I worked overtime Sunday, and then I got home Sunday. Restaurant Season 3 premiered this week with Grilled Cheese Week. I made some bum-ass grilled cheese sandwiches. So check that out.
Someday when you get your ass down here, you'll come down to Space Bar, one of my favorite places. And it's all grilled cheese and craft beer, and it's craft beer from all over the place. It's literally, I remember sending you a picture of my first week living here, and it's still one of my favorite places. The best grilled cheese I've ever had. And best
I made homemade bread for the first time ever on the show.
Homemade bread?
Homemade bread I did some oat flour and some almond flour as part of the incorporation. Oh man, it turned out really, really good. But then I got a call out last night at like 5 o'clock. I get a call because they were anticipating some windstorms and stuff like that. And I went into work last night and I worked an overnight call out. So I was working for about 13 hours, and it was really, really amazing. It's going to put me so far ahead financially. Like I'm going to be able to do a lot of really good things. It's just really, really amazing. It's coming at like the most perfect time for me. So I'm super, super grateful for it. And that's pretty much all I did. I woke up earlier this afternoon. I spent some time getting that Shutter Island spotlight available for our patrons and that special blooper-sode, which is a clip from that mini-sode where Dan and I are just trying to use Random Picker, which I don't use anymore. Thank God. That's how old some of these spotlights that I have recorded are.
You hated that thing anyway. You never liked it. You complained about it all the time.
Oh, I hated it. It was absolutely terrible. So no, I didn't do. I have not done a damn thing. Isle of Dogs is playing up here. You actually messaged me this because somebody else told you this. The Isle of Dogs is playing up here, and I have no fucking time to go see it now. Legitimately no time. So I'm hoping it'll hang out for another week so I can get a chance to see it.
I hope so for your sake. I loved it, as our listeners know from listening to the show when I did my mini review. But while you were doing all that, Nick, last Friday was, that's right, Friday the 13th. And the Epic Film Guys podcast.
I told you that's as close as I've got.
Sponsored an event. Yeah, no, you should put it on there, but it's okay. Later time. We have another Friday the 13th coming up in July. Another event we'll be sponsoring, actually. So this was an Epic Film Guys podcast presents event at the Alamo Drafthouse DC area. And we showed Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter, my personal favorite of the series. And in my opinion, as you guys can hear on my favorite slashers top 10 list episode that we did last October with Fear from Fearcast. It's in my top 5 slashers of all time. It was fantastic turnout. We actually gave away a full collection Friday the 13th Blu-ray box set. A guy named John won it. I got that much out of him. He got that and an Epic Film Guys sticker. We gave away stickers, and we took a huge group photo, which you could see on the Alamo DC Facebook page as well as our page. It was fantastic. A lot of people had a blast, and I did a little mini intro. But I really just wanted to drink beer and watch the movie, so it was kind of short-lived. If you had been there, Nick, I'm sure you would have told them all about how you had never seen the movie.
I'd have just been up front, like,
I sucked a dick last night.
like, you know, being my normal inappropriate self.
I did get called a dead fuck, and I called Loisos a dead fuck. So we did say that to the audience, and a couple people chuckled a little bit.
Sound check.
It was fantastic. But hey, if you're listening and you go to Alamo Drafthouse DC area, look forward to more Epic Film Guys podcast presents showings. We're going to be doing more of them, giving away more free stuff, more swag, more all kinds of stuff, just because we can and we love movies. And hey, why not come out and hang out with a cool guy? Well, half cool guy. And one other guy that likes to come on the podcast once in a while.
Boy,
Either way, shoot your movies. Let's do it.
All right, well, Justin, because we are live once again, it's time to talk about your favorite everybody's favorite segment.
Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite. It's time for Thumbs of the Week.
Thumbs up their asses. Thumbs up their asses.
I love it, son. This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass. I love it.
2 very enthusiastic thumbs up.
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Jesus Christ, man, what the hell is wrong with you? Please, just shut up! Fuck!
And we're going to go ahead and open things up to the stream right now. If you guys have any thumbs you want to drop for the week, please go ahead and let us know over in the comments on the stream. Justin, I am actually going to take the lead here, and I'm just going to give a huge, huge, huge thumbs up to all of the shows that are doing an amazing job of promoting the live stream for The Cure. And I'm going to also give a thumbs down to Dan not having a job that is super, super depressing. And hopefully, Dan, something will come through for you very, 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 very soon. Thumbs up to the Roseanne reboot. I'm still really, really enjoying the Roseanne reboot.
I need to catch up, man. I really, really need to catch up.
Have you watched anything since the premiere or no?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. It's still going really strong. I mean, it went so strong that it got renewed pretty much immediately as soon as that premiere aired and did absolutely gangbusters in the ratings. So that was absolutely amazing.
I saw that it got a pretty big drop though, like in the 3rd week or whatever. But hey, who cares, dude? It's still, people are still watching it, so it is what it is.
So that's absolutely amazing. No thumbs down for this week because I'm in too good a mood after, like I said, my call out. I was already in a good place financially after the first call out I had and after the other overtime that I'd worked. Then I take that call out last night. That is going to put me light years ahead, Justin. Like I am going to finish in the black, and I'm going to be able to completely stay in the black because I'm going to be able to actually pay off some bills that are never, ever, ever going to come back. And I actually cut up my one credit card, so that way all I'm going to be able to do with it is just pay money towards it and just pay it off, and finally maybe hopefully put a little bit of a chip in some of my debt, which is really, really nice. So no, things are going really, really well for me. Unfortunately, that's at the cost of me not having any time to go to the movies or having any time to even see anything. I messaged you when I was doing the call out last night because I had my thumb drive with me, and what do I still have on the thumb drive but all 5 Death Wish movies and The Mechanic, and I got absolutely no time to watch any of them because I spent the entire night editing audio and planning for the live stream for The Cure. I spent probably like, you know how long those fucking auto tweets took me to schedule? Probably like 4 hours. It took forever, but it's going to be so worth it because now we're just going to have auto tweet after auto tweet after auto tweet dropping from the live stream for The Cure Twitter account and just announcing that event more and more and more. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Thumbs up to you, Justin. Thumbs up to everybody. Thumbs up to everything.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up to everything positive. Yeah. My main thumbs up would be, as I just said, the Friday the 13th, the final chapter showing that we just did at the Alamo Drafthouse DC area. Thumbs up to the beer I'm about to talk about.
Thumbs up to creeping on Sylvester Stallone and Getty Images.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I don't give a shit. It could have never happened. Seriously. Like I'm like Jared had just said earlier in the live stream, I am basking in the glow of the Stallone event, and I don't give a shit, dude. I really don't. I'm done for a while. I don't even care about anything else. I'm like, the podcast to watch movies, but nothing will ever be able to come close to that. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger the month before. I mean, I'm good. I'm good, dude. Good.
Hell yeah. Thumbs down, as Dan said, to no job. Dan is still really, really searching to try to find a job, but he did say thumbs up to being able to sell some stuff to offset not having a job, which is really, really nice. John DeQuilla, welcome to the live stream, my friend. Great to have you here. Thumbs down to Friday the 13th Tinder dates. Were they all dressed in like hockey masks and shit?
Were they all trying to kill you? They were all trying to like stab you in the face, cut your head off, decapitate you.
Or stabbed in the ass. I mean, it could just be, you know, a sexual stabbing.
Sexual stabbing. I like that. I wouldn't actually kind of like
sexual stabbing. Jared Taylor, thumbs down to the passing of Harry Anderson and R. Lee Ermey, something we're definitely going to talk about a little bit later in the show. Actually, I've got a treat for you guys here on the stream. The first segment break is just going to be the opening scene from Full Metal Jacket. I'm just going to pull it up on YouTube and play it right here in the stream for you guys to watch. It's going to be absolutely amazing. He was an absolute legend. Harry Anderson, of course, was also an absolute legend. Justin and I were talking about it in the pre-roll about how we both used to watch Night Court, like watch the shit out of that show. I love that show. Such a great show.
Watched it all the time with my grandparents. They loved that show so much. And, you know, even though it's the weaker part of the miniseries, but I think he did a great job as Richie in the It miniseries directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. He was fantastic in that as well. And I really thought he was a great comedic mind. And it was a shame, though, that I felt like after Night Court, he didn't really get to do all that much. I mean, he'd pop up here and there, but I always thought he was fantastic and really great to watch.
Really funny. He had a great comedic timing to him.
Yeah,
I just kind of always really, really enjoyed that about him. He was really, I mean, Larroquette, you can't say enough good things about John Larroquette as well, but I think that Harry Anderson was really the one that made that show what it was, that really made Night Court what it was. And I just absolutely loved it. John DeQuilla did specify it was stabbed in the ass.
Stabbed in the ass. Was it a machete in the ass, or was it a harpoon, or was it, you know,
a harpoon?
Yeah. Dude, Jason kills all different kinds of weapons.
Where are your fucking Tinder dates, DeQuilla? Are they down in like the docks? Like, is it on a whaling ship somewhere?
Hey, he went to Camp Crystal Lake, man.
It's like a schooner, like a whaling schooner out in the middle of the lake. There ain't no whales in there. It's that lake in Minnesota where they hid that statue of Jason Voorhees down at the bottom of it. Which is still badass.
I want to go there and go dive and see that.
That's so fucking hilarious. And Jared said thumbs up to Nick being in the black. Thank you guys all so much for commenting over in the live stream. You guys are absolutely amazing, and we love you. Thank you very, very much for being here to watch us on the show. I guess Nick doesn't understand how dumb horror franchises go. Oh, no, I do. That's why I figured, you know, there's a schooner in the middle of a lake hunting whales. I could totally buy that as a horror movie premise. I'm not going to lie.
To be fair, it's a harpoon gun, but yeah. So
listen. I'm still just going to assume Moby Dick was about, you know, finding the great white penis or the great black penis. We're racially sensitive here on the Epic Film Guys podcast. It can be whatever color penis you want it to be.
It could be purple.
Welcome. I seen that. All right, and Justin, you've been alluding to it all night. I watched you pour the can right in front of the camera. We got to go ahead and get into a little something that we call...
What are you drinking?
You can rally! Woo! Give me a beer!
You got to get your throat checked or something, because that sounded really scary. I don't know. Sounded like, I don't know. Sounded like John Wayne, like, 2 packs a day toward the end of his life, John Wayne.
Add a little Clint Eastwood in there and a little bit of I Love Your Mother, Charles
What
Bronson.
are you doing, Justin?
Hey.
What is that beautiful oranges concoction you're drinking in front of you there?
It's a salty beer with apricots in it. What do you think it is? It's nice. It's crisp.
We
and it has
love
a sour
cock.
bite that leaves
said
you
that?
wanting more. It's the Aslan Beer Company's Goza with apricots. And this, I'd never drink this. I never drink this type of beer. It's very random. I mean, once in a while when I'm at Alamo Draft House, I mentioned him earlier, my buddy Chris, who's the bartender there. He's always trying to get me to try other stuff that isn't an IPA because he knows my love of the juice, as I call it, the orange juice that is an IPA, a New England IPA. But I figured this is like $15. I really loved the label on this thing. And I'm like, you know what? I want something different for the show. It's only 5% and obviously 0 IBUs. It's delicious. I like it. It's just sour enough for me. It's just an enjoyable treat for me. I could only drink probably one of these a night, but I like it a lot. It's good. And I would recommend it, Caleb. Yes. Very, 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 very good.
Does it have a wonderful mouthfeel?
What are you talking about? What's a mouthfeel? I don't know. Is it me feeling something in my mouth? Is there something going in the mouth other than the beer, or is it my putting something of mine in your mouth? I don't know.
I'm not even on that part of the soundboard, so I can't even hit the button. Oh, now there are rats live on the live stream.
But my rat Sonny wants to say, "What do you get? Guys like I'm your girl of the evening." Squeak, 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 squeak.
Can we get we need you to do like a Rizzo the Rat voice. Like you already do the Epic Film Frog, so now we need like a Rizzo the Rat.
I love Rizzo the Rat, man. Rizzo the Rat's great. Here, Sonny, hold on. Let's see your fat belly on the live stream. Get out of here.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Justin lives in a fucking petting zoo. All right, well, I already started the show. Earlier today, I was already talking about this over in the Hopesters Dumpster, and I was telling Justin about it a little bit earlier, but I had me some KBS from Founders. Their breakfast stout aged in bourbon barrels, absolutely amazing. It's like the pinnacle of just stouts, period. It's got a nice chocolate flavor to it, got that nice, deep, smoky bourbon flavor to it. Absolutely fantastic. This, Justin, however... And I'm really wary of this. It was relatively inexpensive. It was only like $6 or $7, so that's why I picked it up. It is Samoa This. So I guess it's meant to taste like the Girl Scout cookie.
I love that cookie. That's my favorite of the Girl Scout cookies. I've never heard of this beer. What is this thing? What is this?
Pink Himalayan sea salt, chocolate, coconut, and caramel flavors. So I've never had it before. I've never even taken a sip of it. So we'll see. I want to see actually what this tastes like. And
on the air, ladies and gentlemen, let's have it.
I don't know. All you can smell is the coconut and a little bit of the caramel on the head of it, which I don't know. We'll see. Hang on. Here we go.
Goom, 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 goom.
That smattering was meant to be way before. That was like, oh, it's so much coconut. There's so much coconut to it. So much. Like, you remember when you brought me that fucking Almond Joy candy bar
coconut
beer?
Yeah.
Even this tastes more coconutty than that did. Yeah, this
really?
tastes more coconutty than that did. I mean, it's really decadent. Ooh. It's really rich. It's got a good flavor to it. I won't say it's bad, but it's just very coconut forward.
Too rich?
Yeah, very coconut forward. Luckily, I don't mind the taste of coconut. I just can't stand the texture of it. So, thankfully, this doesn't taste like you're chewing on fucking maggots or anything when you're drinking it. So, it's pretty good. Not too bad. Shout out from John DeQuilla over in the live stream for KBS. I seen that said it's all about the apple teenies.
I don't think I've ever had an apple teeny. I did have an apple flavored vodka when I was a young child, very young at a party, and I puked up all over my friend's porch.
Ew.
But I mean, I like to puke.
Fist yourself!
Yeah.
Oh, Dan. Oh, man.
Oh my God. So Justin, I know you did have a chance to see at least 1 or 2 movies in the theater this weekend or this week or whenever. You go to the movies all the goddamn time. I swear you live there. But basically, I'm passing the ball over to you. I'm passing the baton over to you. I'm throwing the pass or whatever. It's all on you.
Well, real quick, actually,
Nope.
because I wanted to keep that for maybe a middle segment here.
You're fired.
You and our good buddy Jared Taylor were talking about Agent of S.H.I.E.L.'s Gabrielle Luna being cast as the new Terminator in the upcoming Tim Miller film that is being executive produced by James Cameron. And I held back. I know you guys were commenting on it in the Hopesters Dumpster. For those of you unaware, the Hopesters Dumpster is our fan group on Facebook. So if you're not in there, go there. But I wanted to save it for the show. I wanted to hear what you had to say about this because I found this interesting, though. Just to be fair, though, so far all of the major cast, Nick, is like they're of Spanish descent in some way, which I found interesting. But I feel like that Gabrielle Luna's a very interesting choice for the Terminator, and I wanted to get your thoughts on the subject.
Why? No. Why is Schwarzenegger in it again? Why are they dragging Linda Hamilton back into this whole fucking mess? And now they're ignoring 3. They're ignoring Salvation. They're ignoring Genesis, and they're just making yet another sequel to Terminator 2. Now, what direction do you possibly go in that Genesis didn't go in? Because Genesis was like, okay, we'll have him go back to an earlier time frame, so that's why he's older at the start of the 80s, which made sense. I mean, at least as far as that part of Genesis, it was fine. Like, do you have him like come back from like he grew up in the future and then comes back from way further in the future, like a much further down point? I don't know. Like, I like thinking about plot things, but then I remember it's a fucking Terminator movie, and no matter who you get involved in these goddamn things, they cannot get the fucking things right whatsoever. I know Jim Cameron's back behind the pen for this one. I know he's got at least some hand in the script and he's doing some exec producing here, but sweet merciful Jesus, yes, I seen that, has it perfectly correct over in the live stream chat. The Terminator series needs to die. Enough is enough.
That's what I've been saying. I mean, those of our listeners know the first film is in my top 5 movies of all time, and the Terminator 2 is unparalleled. It's one of the best, if not the best, action movie ever made, in my opinion. But I mean, I'll be open when I see the movie itself. I'm going to watch it like I watch any other movie. I'm not going to want to hate it before I sit down to see it, but I just don't know where they're going to take this. They're calling Sarah Connor being brought back as a seasoned warrior, of course. And I'm cool with bringing back
she's
old characters,
1,000
if it
now.
makes sense. But I mean, the way that I look at it is, yes, they bring back older actors to come back and be seasoned in action movies. So I have no problem with her coming back, but I just hope that the story is enough to be at least somewhat captivating. The Terminator franchise is one that's like, you look at it and you're like, there's 2 really amazing films, and after that, there's nothing really like noteworthy about them. And I don't know. I mean, I don't give a fuck if Cameron has anything to do with this. I really don't, man. You know, we had talked about on the show many a times that he came in and he actually championed Genesis and sponsored it, in a sense that he went out and did like video recommendations for it for Arnold, because he's friends with him, to recommend it for people to go see it, and said, quote unquote, it was the sequel to T2 that never happened. And we know how that turned out. So I don't know.
I've long said, and I said this, I know when we talked about this ages ago, when Cameron like originally was going to be coming back, Tim Miller got attached and whatever, like we talked about this ages ago, but for the love of Christ, just, I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, all right? Not as much as you. I don't think anybody loves him as much as you. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, though, but Jesus Christ, he does not have to be part of this franchise anymore.
And I've said that too,
Move
Nick.
on without him.
I'm totally cool with it as well. And a lot of fans, they decline to agree with that thought process. But for me, it's like, I've seen him in the best of them. He is a major component on why those films work. But you've seen him in like the worst of the worst, and we've seen him done in full CGI garb in Salvation, even shoehorned in for no purpose other than, hey, you can't have a Terminator movie without Arnold. I'd love to see what a Terminator movie could be without Arnold, because again, when it gets down to the nitty gritty, he's not the only thing that makes the film special, and there could be a lot of things they could do with it. Now, I think, Nick, they're going to have him. I think they've come to terms with the fact that, especially with his recent heart surgery that he just had, there's no way he's going to be able to bulk up again. He did bulk up pretty good for Genesis. I don't think he's going to be another Terminator. I don't think they're going to try to play that card again. I think they went as far as they could with his age in Genesis. And I thought, again, we've talked about this on the show, he was by far like the least bad thing in Genesis. I thought he was pretty good in it. I thought he was charming in it, and he did as good of a job as he could do, but we don't need to see that again. We've already gone down that path. And so for me, I'm hoping they do something fresh, something original. And with Tim Miller behind the camera, I'm really, really hoping that there must be something interesting to get a guy like that who directed Deadpool involved. So I'm praying that there's something worthwhile to see there. But I again, Gabriel Luna, like, that's the main thing. When I see the guy's picture, I don't see a Terminator. So I think that's an interesting choice, but we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, I seen that, mentioned it over in the live stream. It's like putting down a family pet, but I can't see it anymore or walk correctly, but the time has come. So that's absolutely perfect. I don't know. I feel like as long as you have a Schwarzenegger involved, like Genesis was a good idea for a movie. They tried to do the Star Trek 2009 thing where they rebooted it within the same continuity so they could go off in their own direction. It was a good idea for a movie, but then they just tripped over themselves like really, really badly because they cast Jai fucking Courtney in it.
Well, and you get the director that directed like a film we're going to be talking about in our Phase 2 segment. One of the worst, if not the worst, in my opinion, Marvel Cinematic Universe film. You get a guy like that, a hack who doesn't know how to direct a movie and put absolutely no heart or love into it. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a really generic blockbuster, and that's what Genesis was.
Yeah, really the pinnacle of fucking mediocrity in Alan Taylor. So, I mean, like, yeah, Tim Miller is a much better talent. I'll give you that. Cameron being involved at least gives me some kind of hope that maybe he's pointing this franchise in the right direction.
As long as he's taking his pills, man. As long as he's taking his
Jesus
meds.
Christ.
We know he's nuts, you know. But
that's true. But, you know, I don't feel like you need to have attachments to the past. If you want to do a new Terminator movie, get Schwarzenegger, get Hamilton, get everybody else the fuck away from it, and just write a compelling story with good characters. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. Screenwriters are doing it every day. Movies come out every single year where there's really, really good characters and really, really awesome stuff. A Quiet Place, we just talked about it last week. Amazing characters, really, really well-rounded characters in a fucking movie that's only 90 minutes long and there's barely any dialogue. They managed to create really nice characters. So it's not fucking complicated, but I feel like this franchise has just this giant fucking noose around its neck with its Schwarzenegger's holding the end of the rope, like, because they can't get him out of these fucking movies. Like, he's great. He's great. He's Schwarzenegger. He's Schwarzenegger, and we on this podcast love him more than most people because, of course, he was the greatest villain of all time in cinema history.
Freeze, winter. Come on, you don't have
that
anything
was meant
on the
to be more
soundboard?
dramatic because my soundboard was turned down, so you didn't get to hear.
Winter is coming last.
He was the greatest villain in cinematic history. So I mean, we love Arnold Schwarzenegger on this podcast. We really do. But man.
On a lighter note, before we get moving on into the rest of the show we don't have planned.
No, Jared, he would rust if he lived next to the waterfall. It's too wet there.
Those of you in the live stream right now, I know this, I don't know how long you got this going for, Nick, but there is a 20% off code on Redbubble right now if you want to use it for live stream for the Cure t-shirts, tank tops, whatever you want. It is 20 now at checkout. All profits go towards our goal of raising $5,000 for cancer research. So if you're listening in the live stream, and you haven't had a chance to purchase a shirt yet, you got variety. You can get a fashion shirt and look all stylish at the bar. You can get a regular t-shirt, be a regular Joe Schmo on the street. You can get a tank top for when you hit the beach. 20% off right now.
To the yes. I actually ordered my own earlier tonight. I ordered one for myself earlier tonight. So that way, you know, get these things moving and you know, every single penny of the profits from these goes to the live stream for the cure. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So please, please, please consider, dropping us a donation, dropping us a little bit of something. You can still make early donations at livestreamforthecure.com. But if everybody's waiting, hanging on and waiting to make their donations live on the air, that's great. Make them during the segment with your favorite show. Wow.
That was encouraging.
Right?
Yeah.
Make them live on the air with your favorite show. And, if whoever raises the most money in a half an hour featured programming block wins an Epic Film Guys prize pack. It's that simple. It's absolutely that simple. So we're going to go ahead, Justin, and we're going to roll into a quick promo break here for some EFG history. Live stream, stay tuned, because again, we're just going to drop some Full Metal Jacket on you. Simple as that. Throwing it right in here for you. And then we're going to come back, and Justin is going to drop a couple. You got what, 1, 2 reviews you're going to give us, or no?
One review for a little film that hit, well, indie cinemas at least this last weekend. You Were Never Really Here, starring Joaquin Phoenix.
Nice. So, yeah, we are going to go ahead and run into a quick break. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, Justin Esquivel. Wow.
You sucked his dick.
Never happened. Never happened.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and queue up that clip for the live stream here.
And I will go take a giant leak.
Let's stop recording really quick first.
Sounds good.
My internet connection is not the best today. I forgot to tell you as well. I'm getting a new modem because apparently Spectrum was fucking me over ever since they bought Time Warner.
Really?
Yeah, like they dropped down my maximum internet speed and my up speed, and they've been charging me more for less coverage. So I'm gonna get boosted up to 110, and they're giving me my modem for free, and I've got like a new modem coming. So hopefully next week we will run out of connectivity issues online. Like, at least it should be better. I'll be able to stream in HD now, which will be nice. You get to see my beautiful face in high definition, baby. Get to see all Justin's beautiful ink in high definition. Ada went to that the Renaissance studio there. Yep,
yeah,
she went
did you talk to Josh, or
Josh can't do it, I guess, because I guess he only does black and white pieces, he said.
Oh my God, he's really doing that now like that? Well, I guess he can. So
yeah, but he referred her to somebody else, and then she showed him the design that she wants, and she put a down payment on it today, so she's getting that. She's getting that soon.
Awesome, dude, fantastic. I'm glad. As long as she did mention my name to Josh, though.
Oh yeah, she did. Yep.
Good.
Yeah, that was how she reached out.
That's awesome.
Yep. Live stream. Hang in there. We're gonna go ahead and get you guys queued up for the clip here. And then we'll be back, like I said, to talk about things.
Things and stuff. And
things
stuff like
and
that.
Stuff. I do apologize, stream. I was not super prepared for that aspect of it, but we're going to go ahead and just pop that right like that. Should load the page right up. There we go.
I am Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, your senior drill instructor. From now on, you will speak only when spoken to. And the first and last words out of your filthy sewers will be, sir. Do you maggots understand that? Sir, yes, sir. Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair. Sir, yes, sir. If you ladies leave my...
God damn it, I added the wrong thing. Hang on. I added the wrong thing. I added it through browser capture, which won't let me control the actual video itself on YouTube. There we go. Okay. Without further ado, and my humblest apologies.
I am Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, your senior drill instructor. From now on, you will speak only when spoken to. And the first and last words out of your filthy sewers will be, sir. Do you maggots understand that? Sir, yes, sir. Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair. Sir, yes, sir. If you ladies leave my island, if you survive recruit training, you will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death praying for war. But until that day, you are pukes. You are the lowest form of life on earth. You are not even human fucking beings. You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit. Because I am hard, you will not like me. But the more you hate me, the more you will learn. I am hard, but I am fair. There is no racial bigotry here. I do not look down on niggers, kites, wops, or greasers. Here you are all equally worthless. And my orders are to weed out all non-hackers who do not pack the gear to serve in my beloved corps. Do you maggots understand that? Sir, yes, sir. Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sir, yes, sir. What's your name, scumbag? Sir, Private Brown, sir. Bullshit, from now on you're Private Snowball. Do you like that name? Sir, yes, sir. Well, there's one thing that you won't like, Private Snowball. They don't serve fried chicken and watermelon on a daily basis in my mess hall. Sir, yes, sir.
That you, John Wayne? Is this me?
Who said that? Who the fuck said that? Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle-toed cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant? Nobody, huh? The furry fucking godmother said it. I'm fucking standing. I will PT you all until you fucking die. I'll PT you until your assholes are sucking buttermilk. Was it you, you scroungy little fuck, huh? Sir, no, sir. You little piece of shit, you look like a fucking worm. I bet it was you. Sir, no, sir.
Sir, I said it, sir.
Well, no shit. What have we got here? A fucking comedian, Private Joker. I admire your honesty. Hell, I like you. You can come over to my house and fuck my sister. You little scumbag. I got your name. I got your ass. You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers. I will teach you. Now get up. Get on your feet. You had best unfuck yourself or I will unscrew your head and shut down your neck.
Sir, yes, sir.
Private Joker, why did you join my beloved corps?
Sir, to kill, sir.
So you're a killer?
Sir, yes, sir.
Let me see your war face.
Sir.
You got a war face? Ah! That's a war face. Now let me see your war face.
Ah!
Bullshit. You didn't convince me. Let me see your real war face.
Ah!
You don't scare me. Work on it.
Sir, yes, sir.
What's your excuse?
Sir, excuse for what, sir?
I'm asking the fucking questions here, Private. Do you understand?
Sir, yes, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Can I be in charge for a while?
Sir, yes, sir.
Are you shook up? Are you nervous?
Sir, I am, sir.
Do I make you nervous?
Sir.
Sir, what? Are you about to call me an asshole?
Sir, no, sir.
How tall are you, Private?
Sir, 5'9", sir.
5'9". I didn't know they stacked shit that high. You trying to squeeze an inch in on me somewhere, huh?
Sir, no, sir.
Bullshit. It looks to me like the best part of you ran down to cracking your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress. I think you've been cheated. Where in the hell are you from anyway, Private?
Sir, Texas, sir.
Holy dog shit. Texas, only steers and queers come from Texas, Private Cowboy. And you don't much look like a steer to me, so that kind of narrows it down. Do you suck dicks?
Sir, no, sir.
Are you a Peter Pupper?
Sir, no, sir.
I bet you're the kind of guy that would fuck a person in the ass and not even have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around. I'll be watching you. Did your parents have any children that lived?
Get it done
Sir,
now,
yes,
because
sir.
we're doing
I bet
a break
they regret
right now.
that. You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece. What's your name, fat body?
Sir, Leonard Lawrence, sir.
Lawrence what, of Arabia?
Sir, no, sir.
That name sounds like royalty. Are you royalty?
Sir, no, sir.
Do you suck dicks?
Sir, no, sir.
Bullshit, I'll bet you could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
Sir, no, sir.
I don't like the name Lawrence. Only faggots and sailors are called Lawrence. From now on, you're Gomer Pyle.
Sir, yes, sir.
Do you think I'm cute, Private Pyle? Do you think I'm funny?
Sir, no, sir.
Then wipe that disgusting grin off your face.
Sir, yes, sir.
Well, any fucking time, sweetheart.
Sir, I'm trying, sir.
Private Pyle, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. Exactly 3 fucking seconds to wipe that stupid-looking grin off your face, or I will gouge out your eyeballs and skull fuck you. 1, 2, 3.
Sir, I can't help it, sir.
Bullshit! Get on your knees, scumbag. Now choke yourself. God damn it, with my hand, numbnuts. Don't pull my fucking hand over there. I said choke yourself. Now lean forward and choke yourself. Are you through grinning?
Sir, yes, sir.
Bullshit, I can't hear you.
Sir, yes, sir.
Bullshit, I still can't hear you. Sounds off like you've got a pair.
Sir, yes, sir.
That's enough. Get on your feet. Private Pyle, you had best square your ass away and start shitting me Tiffany cufflinks, or I will definitely fuck you up.
Sir, yes, sir.
Man, what a great scene.
It's been so long since I've watched it, man. I really, really need to go back and revisit it. I know you just had the opportunity to do so. I wish I could. I need to take the time to do it.
Yeah, it was really, really, really great. And yeah, I seen that. Yeah, definitely correct. He was just supposed to be the consultant. And the actor that was supposed to play Gunnery Sergeant Hartman actually ends up being the guy in the helicopter in the second half of the movie, gunning down the people in the rice field. The guy that's like super gung-ho, like, yeah, get some, like that guy. That guy was supposed to be Hartman. But I mean, I guess Gunny was just so good that Kubrick wanted him in the movie. So yeah, fantastic stuff. I mean, there's obviously some not so PC language in there for your modern audience, maybe. But I mean, again, it was made in the 80s, so hey, whatever. But I mean, still,
as I like to say, suck it up, maybe.
Yeah, super fucking effective. Yeah, so definitely, man, he was great. He was great. One of the most iconic, probably one of the most iconic scenes, definitely in any kind of military film, but like in film history, probably. Just, man, that opening scene just sets the entire tone of that movie so perfectly. It's just amazing. So yeah, there you go. Why don't we, Justin, go ahead and get recording so you can get yourself underway. All right, and whenever you're ready, you can drop me that sound check.
Hello, hey, I'm here right now with Miss Piggy and Fozzie, and I'm going to talk about movies and drink beer and get fucking wasted. Yeah, wasted.
Wasted epic film frog.
I sucked a dick last night.
Why would you say a thing like that?
That's not what I'm trying to say. That's not what I even said. I didn't say
I'm pretty sure I saw your lips move when that happened. I swear I saw them.
I didn't say that.
My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
I played this stinking city like a harp from hell.
How the hell did we just go into that at the same time? How the hell did we go into that at the same time? Seriously?
I was too busy playing my Clerks sound drop, but then I fully intended to get back to it. And like to fill her void. Show him my French flipper trick.
Flipper trick. Stop global warming. Start global cooling. Turn the world into a giant icebox. You drive a hard bar taxi.
It's coming at last.
Oh,
I'll be there.
You're driving this segment, so why don't you go ahead and lead us in. Whoa. What the hell?
What?
I don't know what alert that was.
There's an alert. What?
What the hell?
What happened?
Hang on. I don't know what that was. I gotta actually look that up.
I didn't see anything. I wasn't looking.
No, it didn't appear on the screen because I don't have the thing over the top here. Oh, Movie Cave has subscribed. Thank you very much for subscribing to the Movie Cave. I don't have like the actual overlay on the screen here for Streamlabs, so that's why that didn't pop up. But thank you very much, Movie Cave. Thank you very much for subscribing. That's amazing.
Corey Wade, yeah, baby.
Hell yeah, baby. Life level up. All right. So Justin, without further ado, man, whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Hooray.
All right, we're going to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back, film fans. Thanks for sticking with us and hanging out with us here on the Epic Film Guys podcast. Hopefully, we won't have to deal with any epic film frogs named Denny or any hopesters or lisps or, I mean,
shut the fuck up, Denny.
Nick, you can talk if you want, but I know you haven't seen the movie I'm about to talk about. That's right. I'm going to do a mini review. You've seen nothing like your entire life, or just, you mean like recently? Or
I seen that. Thank you very much for subscribing.
Great. Thank you.
I need to add these things to the actual YouTube thingy here. So, because Justin can't hear them, but I hear them. So Justin's like, huh?
What, Lorraine? What? I still want you to put that on the damn soundboard, but you never will. But ladies and gentlemen,
because it's not a clean clip. Like, you can't get it clean. I can't. It just.
I can't get your ass clean. You dirty.
Well, wash harder.
You dirty barbarian, you. But I had the opportunity to see. It only hit the indie market, I think. I had to drive to Angelica Film Center and Mosaic, which I talk about in the show all the time. It did not hit Alamo Drafthouse or any other major cinemas. But you were never really here. It's a film that just came out this past weekend. What?
Where was I?
Well, I don't. You told us already earlier in the show you were working at and doing this for the live stream and doing that and beer drink. I don't know. But this is a thriller written and directed by Lim Ramsey, based on a book also of the same name by Jonathan Ames. The film stars Joaquin Phoenix. He plays a character named Joe, who is a combat veteran and a former agent with hardcore PTSD problems. He is a hired gun who basically goes through and does jobs. He kills a lot of people, and he rescues trafficked girls that are taken, abducted, and used for this underground, disgusting, really horrible sex market where, yeah, lots of horrible people like to use them. And he cares for his elderly mother, played here by Judith Roberts. He lives at his childhood home in New York City. Now, the PTSD plays out where you get graphic flashbacks to his childhood, his past in the military and FBI. This guy's a really crazy dude. You could tell as soon as the film starts, he's not on the same level as a normal human being. And the way that the film is presented to you, you're with him along the way. Now, we meet him as he's finishing a job, and you get the brutality of this guy right off the bat. And when shit starts hitting the fan, you really feel it. This film is as gritty as it gets, but it's also super stylized. He decides to take on a job where he's going to save a missing girl that also happens to be the daughter of a would-be governor. Okay, this guy is in a political race right now, and his daughter has been taken and sold off to this underground sex slave little, culture, I guess you would call it. And it's his job to kind of get her out of that. The film itself flaunts a real sheer power in the artistic skill. It really keeps its grip on you as tightly as our protagonist grips his hammer as he beats his adversaries into a bloody pulp. I mean, when shit starts hitting in the fan in this movie, you feel every single blow. And to put it lightly, this gets as brutal as it gets. And I just lost my train of thought. But we follow this guy.
Do I need to beat you with a hammer until you stay in focus?
It's Phoenix at his best. I mean, this guy has literally been a powerhouse for every single performance that he's done in the past 5 years, from The Master to Her to even as much film itself, Inherent Vice. He was fantastic in that. And it just goes to show he is one of the best working actors in Hollywood today, and taking indie stuff like this as well, Nick. And he beefed up majorly for the role. I mean, his traps in this movie are huge. He's got this physical presence here. And all this guy is doing, he's trying to deal with his childhood, his obviously we get to see flashbacks of what happened to him and his experiences in the military that literally scarred him. We know there's a huge issue with soldiers coming back from war and PTSD. And I feel like this is the first film that I've witnessed personally that really deals with that in a realistic fashion. Now, Time had called this movie Taxi Driver for a New Century, and I definitely see the resemblance to that. We have this character who has PTSD. He lives in New York City. There's a lot of similar kind of an artistic look to it. When you're driving through the city and you feel like the city is this living, breathing creature. It's definitely a character in the film. And as I said earlier, like 100 times before, the film is super brutal. This guy, he doesn't like to use a gun. His weapon of choice is a hammer. So when he gets the job, he gets hired on to go take out some scumbags. He's not going in with a knife or a hammer or hold on. He's not going in with a knife or a gun or a baseball bat. He's using a fucking hammer and he's bashing people into pieces as he sees fit. And the film was completely disturbing in the sense that it deals with subject matter such as these underground sex slave homes where people go in, people that are well known in our society, you know, politicians, movie stars, they go in and they have sex with children. And this has been a thing that's been widely known for a long time. And it hasn't been touched on in any film that I've seen up until this point. And I really love the fact that in this movie, we finally get to see a protagonist actually go up against these people and like beat them down to death. But it's not, the violence isn't glorified in the way that I'd kind of hoped it would be, Nick. You know, when I go to see like an action movie or a horror movie, I like to see the kills. I like to see the brutality on screen, especially when the bad guy is someone that's really bad, like someone that's actually physically and mentally abusing children and having sex with them. That's like the worst thing in the world. So I want to see those people get brutalized in the most violent fashion possible. But in this case, Nick, I think that what director Lynn Ramsey wanted to do was not shy away from that brutality, but just not glorify it where you're not seeing it like to get you excited. It's done almost in a second-hand nature where a lot of it in a couple scenes is done from the view of a security camera, or we meet Joe after he's already beaten the bad guy to the ground, and you just see this blood everywhere. He's holding the hammer. We don't actually see the violence that often in the film, which I thought was really interesting. It's the kind of movie you would expect, kind of like you see some influences, of course, from Taxi Driver and from Reference Drive, where this guy's beating the shit out of people. He's killing them because he's hired to do it, and he has no emotion as he does so. For me, I'm going to take maybe a point or two off for the fact that I get that's what they were going for. But me as the moviegoer, as the person going in to be entertained and to watch that movie, I wanted to see those fucking scumbags get their skulls crushed in as up close and personal as possible. And I did not get that from the film. Dude, I got to tell you, this film sported my favorite score of the year so far by Johnny Greenwood, also known for his stunning work in There Will Be Blood, and of course this year's Phantom Thread, among many others. It's unconventional in the sense that it blends pulse-pounding synthesizers with an almost bombastic, like tribal backbone fused with blood-curdling high strings, man. I mean, I haven't heard a score like this that mixes so many different types of genres into one, and it's like pure agony listening to this thing, because you'll be driving in the city and you'll get that very stylistic like side view of the car driving through with all the lights with synth, and then when he goes in to actually do a job, it turns to this more horrific high string sound, and then it goes into like these really tribal drums in the background. It's crazy. And it hits that gritty urban territory that we spend the majority of the film perfectly. This film, above all, made me want to see Ramsey's other film that a lot of other people were talking about. We Need to Talk About Kevin. That's right. That's the title of the movie. And I hear that it's really, really good. And this film actually got a 7-minute standing ovation at the Cannes Film Festival. I can see why. It's extremely powerful in the sense that we typically don't see a character such as Joe go in and tear these people apart. And then we also deal with them emotionally in the sense that they're real human beings. We see the aftermath of what happens to someone after they do something like this, where the stress really takes them over, the anxiety, and he's getting flashbacks, and you kind of see why this guy's okay with doing this rather than just a cold-blooded badass killer. You get into his psyche, you understand him, and you feel for him a little bit. There's a really touching moment at the end of the movie, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but when we actually see him kind of quote unquote get the job done, you see how human he really is, and you feel a lot of emotion for him. And then the ending is just absolutely perfect with this. But not to go on too much longer, because I know you haven't seen the film, and to be fair, Nick, I know you don't even know what the fuck this movie is. Yeah, baby. It hit me in the face really hard. It's super atmospheric. I absolutely love that about it. And man, you just can't take anything away from Joaquin Phoenix. I think this is probably one of my top 3 roles of his. Obviously, my personal favorite is him as Johnny Cash. But and Walk the Line. But in this, like, dude, he really put on a stellar performance, and I highly recommend this movie to anyone that wants to see someone that's different than anything else that's being put out into cinemas right now, and the kind of thriller that you probably wouldn't expect seeing. If you see the posters, don't let them lead you on. It's not the film that you're going to get. This is not some big action spectacle or anything. There is brutal stuff happening in the movie, but I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give You Were Never Really Here, and I know that you're not really here right now, Nick, a 7 out of 10 rating. I thought it was a good film.
Where am I?
I see you in the live stream. I don't really know where you are. I wonder where your brain is.
How
right
did
now.
I get here?
But
how did he get there?
I thought the film was very enjoyable. It really sucked me in. Like I said earlier, it really, it grabs you as hard as it can, and it pulls you in, and it doesn't let you go till the end of the movie. And that's what I expect from a thriller. That's what I expect from something like this, starring Joaquin Phoenix. So I highly recommend You Were Never Really Here. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 hammer knockouts.
That's right. You should hear like a little skull crack in there, like a psk.
I wish, man. I wish.
Smash someone in the skull. Man. Yeah.
I need to add
like I said,
more.
I just wish I get that that's not what this movie was, dude, but I really wish that like
that's what you wanted going in, though. That's what you wanted going in.
Yeah, man.
You wanted to see like a big squirt of blood, a big fake spurt of blood just slop up all over Joaquin Phoenix's face while he's bashing some dude with a hammer. I know.
I mean, there's a couple parts, but I mean, to be fair, I get that's not what this movie is, and I commend it for that. It's very different. It's very original. Go see it if you get the chance.
Very, very nice. Well, Justin, that's it for segment 2. I mean, we really don't have a lot else, but we are going to take a quick break here. We're going to come back and more talk about the live stream for The Cure and, I don't know, whatever the fuck else we feel like throwing in at the end of the show.
Watch out for Godzilla!
Godzilla is going to be there, apparently.
Yeah, Godzilla may show up. Who knows? Yeah, man, we'll be right back.
Blah, blah, blah. Just keep recording. There's no sense in stopping.
You like that? You want me to cut to 3 weeks earlier when you were alive?
Yes.
I'm still here. I know about We're Still Here. I like that movie a lot. The ghost story, the ghost haunting movie. The ghosts, they'll come and get you. Those spooky ghouls, them.
Let me throw something on for the break here. And what can I throw on for the break? What do I got? You know what? I think it's been a while. It's been a while since I've played it, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this guy in here. We'll be right back.
Since I've been...
Jesus.
What is happening?
There we go.
What is happening?
Yes.
You're just asking about back on this call. I'd rather have you.
I am drunk as fuck though too, so you just fucked my mind, man.
This is my favorite song, man. How did you know?
This is my jam.
This shit came out when I was like
I love fucking Roxette, man. Know you're something in the wake of your smile.
I love her gozer hair.
Woo! By the look in your eyes, yeah.
Fuck me, I'm drunk.
I only played this because Caleb mentioned it over in the Skype.
This to your heart.
Oh, god damn it.
When she's calling for you.
Caleb, thank you for turning on your video just to do that.
Nothing else we can do.
That's awesome, man.
Yes.
Perfect.
Hi, Vanessa. Oh my god. Okay.
You know what I did, Nick? I listened to my heart and I opened another beer.
I fucking love you. What do you got now?
I have. Yo, of course. I have Evil Twins from Tennessee with Smoke. Tribute to John's homeland.
I hate you.
Yeah, I'm just God.
This one's
damn,
good.
so
It tastes like a
love this
barbecue.
song.
You like smoke beer?
Yeah, I fucking love it.
Yeah,
Why did I do this?
It's the
It's like
smokiest beer I've ever
fucking-
had, other than
So
Hamburian
fucked up.
Norwegian wood.
On my pillow, see the winter.
What is going on right now?
It's
A sad
just don't ask questions, shampoo. Just don't ask questions.
Hey, I'm going with it. I just want to know where this is going.
Touch me
I've been
now.
hurt before.
I close my eyes.
I don't want to stop it until Justin stops singing.
But I lost it
somehow.
I'm never happier than when I do these fucking megasodes. I swear to God.
This is amazing.
God. Oh, I fucking love you guys. All right.
This is what we should have just done for 2 hours. Just the movie Pod Squad sing along. I'd listen.
It's almost the 1 year anniversary of the movie Pod Squad Megasode 2. Where, in fact, Justin Winters did sing those songs, and Shampoo was in there, John from Now in Technicolor, Caleb and Dan from Netflix as well, Fuzzy Dan, who spiked the puns, man. Oh, we haven't done a Megasode in quite a long time. I really need to plan it out really well so that way I could get it edited properly. Those are a fucking chore and a half to try to edit, but, man. Good fun. Good fun. I've got some, what do I got? I got some appearances to talk about, I think. What else we got to throw in here in the end?
Nothing. I got nothing for you.
Well, good. We'll talk about Livestream for the Cure, and then we'll roll out on the show. Okay. Let's go ahead and roll us back in here in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're still here. We've always been here. I'm still here, as I seen that mentioned, that
We're
weird
still
documentary
here.
that Phoenix did
I'm
over in the
still
live
here.
chat. Are you still
He's
here, Justin?
I'd like to think that I'm still here.
Is
I'd like
that
to
frog
think that,
still here?
I mean, I think he's here. Yeah, he's definitely here. For sure. I don't know about the Hopester. The Hopester hasn't been around in a while. You scolded him the last time he came in and was trying to profit off of the live stream for the Cure 2.0. So I think
know. Isn't that bullshit?
I did see a tent near the local Target. I'm not bullshitting. There's a guy that he's homeless. He lives near the local Target down the street here. And I think that he might be checking up with that guy. I don't know. It's not near a bar, though. It's near a gas station. I mean,
Well, I'm
you could
impressed.
get 40s.
I'm impressed that you managed to make that tent look so much like your old apartment that you lived in, and you're sitting in it right now, because we all know that it's really you that's living by that Target. Come on now.
I know nothing of the sort. Nothing. I don't even know what you're talking about. You like to spout accusations at me every chance you get. But
My God. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap out on the show here in just a few moments. But before we do, I want to take a few moments to tell you more about the live stream for the Cure, more stuff that we've got coming up for that. As I was mentioning earlier in the show, I did some restructuring. We added a few more featured programming blocks, and we got a few more shows to sign up. And I want to go ahead and just throw some of this information at you here. Boom. Just like Justin just did in the live stream, he just threw shit right at my face. First things first, though, before we get there, I actually want to announce something else that we're going to be doing for the live stream for the Cure this year, because I don't want to just make this about me or about how cancer's affected me, or about Justin, how cancer has affected Justin. I want to make this about everybody. Okay, so we want you to tell us your cancer stories. So Over in the live stream, I actually just put this logo up here. Justin just whipped this up for me earlier tonight. But we're going to be posting this all out over social media. And what we need from you guys, whether you want to record something, you can pre-record it and we'll play it on the air. Or if you just want to write down the text of it and have us read it on the air throughout the live stream for the Cure, throughout whatever, someplace in there, we'll throw them in there periodically whenever we get to them. We're going to talk about your stories. We're going to talk about why you want to take part in the live stream for the Cure and why this event speaks to you. I've heard from a lot of people who, cancer has affected them really, really negatively. Of course, cancer affects everybody negatively. I don't think it affects anybody positively necessarily. But yeah, we need your stories. We need your stories. So when you see this image, what's your story? Popping up over on the Twitter account or over on Facebook. You can email it. You don't have to make it public. You can privately email it, and whatever you want us to do with it, we'll do with it. But yeah, we want to tell your story. So if you have a way that cancer has affected you, please let us know, because we really want to get that out there. This event is going to be huge. This event is going to be way, way, way bigger than the last one was. The last year we did a really great job. $2,500 is nothing to sneeze at, and that was only in 12 hours, Justin. So this year, 30 hours. Actually, it's going to be a little bit longer than 30 hours, probably. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing.
I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic, as you said. I'm super pumped for it. Last year was really a great fun time for us all. And who doesn't want to have fun with also, backing up a really great cause? I mean, dude, you can have fun any day of the week, but have fun and make it worthwhile while you're supporting something that really needs the support that we're trying to give it, is something that I felt blessed to be a part of. So I'm super pumped for it. I know that a lot of our patrons are pumped for it, and we're really amping up as much as we possibly can to get the word out there. Tell all your friends, tell your family members, tell anyone, because we all know, Nick, like, that's one of the biggest problems in our country right now is cancer. And a lot of people we see day in and day out on social media, people I know, I'm friends with, family members, are affected by this. And I feel like everyone has that story. So we'd love to hear your story. We'd love for you to be a part of this with us and help smash out cancer with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, we are actually probably going to end up going a little bit longer than 30 hours. I'll talk about that in just a moment. You guys already know Miserable Retail Slave is going to be kicking off our first 2 featured programming blocks. Randy and Tommy, they do an amazing comedy podcast. I'm super thrilled that they're going to be on board. Our brother from Perth, Paul from the Countdown, is going to be here for like 2 or 3 hours. He's just going to be here for quite a while Friday night, hanging out with us. We're going to do some kind of countdown. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Matt Pierce in the Crossover Podcast later on Friday evening. Gerald and Andy, 2 peas on a pod. Gerald's one of our sponsors. Thank you, Gerald. We absolutely love you. They're going to be on the What Were They Thinking podcast, Justin. They talk about bad movies. Bad movies. So I bet you they talk about those 2 Guardians of the Galaxy pieces of shit whenever they talk about their podcast.
Don't say that. No.
The Epic Film Guys, we and 2 guests. We need guests. If you want to sign up for any of these guest sequences, if you want to sign up for any of these guest segments that we're going to be doing, one retrospective we're going to be doing from 11 p.m. to midnight on Friday, Justin, the films of Quentin Tarantino. That's going to be an amazing discussion. Absolutely amazing. Not really going to count them down or rank them or anything, but I think just talk about them. Just talk about our favorites.
You gotta love some Tarantino.
Yes, absolutely. Shane from Now That I'm Older, he actually wants to do 80s movies with us, Justin. We're going to talk about 80s movies with Shane when he comes on the show. I know you love your 80s movies, so I know you'll definitely be on board for that. Speaking of 80s movie fans, Dina Marie from the Twisted Philly podcast, who is seeking my blood after I trashed the Karate Kid on the Countdown last week. She really, really loves that movie. She's going to murder me whenever we meet in real life.
But, I mean, come on. What don't you trash that people love? That's just who you are.
You're lots of things, Justin. Lots of things. I'm going to piss off a bunch of Guardians of the Galaxy fans in our Phase 2 retrospective that we're going to be doing a little bit later here in the live stream, though. And Heather from Sunshine and Power Cuts, who, again, she has a page on her own website dedicated to this event. That's how amazing she's going above and beyond. All right, on Saturday, movie quote trivia, we've got the Zombie Kitty podcast, Everything I Learned from the Movies, Death by Film, and We Watched a Thing, all taking part in movie quote trivia. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Steve is hanging out with us from Everything I Learned from Movies for the next block after that. And then, Justin, your best friend, everybody's best friend, Dan.
Fuck off, Justin.
That guy. And Caleb from the Netflix and Swill podcast are going to be here for Dick Picks. Now, this is a segment that they do on Netflix and Swill where they take a dictionary word and they search for that word on Netflix and they watch something that pops up in the search results. And I think Dan watched a Tinkerbell movie last week on the show.
Tinkerbell
it's a really interesting
movie?
segment.
Wow.
Yeah, they just pick a random word, whatever the random word generator gives them, and they search for it. Our absolute, probably the biggest champion of the Epic Film Guys, aside from the Epic Film Guys themselves, Emily from The Story Behind, is also going to be here on Saturday. We still need 2 more players for movie soundtrack trivia. That's going to be Saturday evening. Also Saturday evening, most anticipated films of summer 2018. Justin, we need 2 guests for that as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. Later on Saturday evening, Lisa and Sam from the I Shake My Head podcast are going to be joining us. Fuzzy Dan, Fuzzy D himself from Who Spiked the Puns, is going to be here to help us with What Are You Drinking?
Dude, it's been a while since he's been on. I feel like it's been since the last
Probably the last
live stream for the
Megasode, yeah.
Or, yeah, holy shit, dude.
I love Fuzzy. I had the opportunity to visit him not too long ago. We did Touch of Resident Evil, which was fantastic, and we got to hear all about Hank Quinlan's chili. I love a bowl of your chili. There's nothing like watching Orson Welles in the biggest fat suit of all time talk about how much he loves to eat chili in literally the most horrifying voice possible. It makes me feel dirty whenever I think about eating chili. Oh, my
Didn't
God.
Orson Welles get fat in real life, though, in later years?
He
Didn't
did,
get, like,
yeah, but he wasn't quite that fat yet when he did Touch of Evil. He was still not quite as fat as Quinlan. That's for damn sure. Oh, man. The Afterburn 739 podcast is going to be here with us for like an hour and a half on Saturday. And like I said, they are actually giving all the proceeds for their merchandise sales to Livestream for the Cure as well. And they're giving away an Afterburn prize pack to whoever, they're giving away. They're just, everybody that buys merchandise, they're going to put into a raffle and give it away. Give away a big prize pack. And they're going to give all the proceeds to everything for the Livestream for the Cure, which is amazing. Thank you guys. Horror movie trivia. This is going to be a big one Saturday night. We've got 1 person signed up for so far. We need 3 more people to sign up for horror movie trivia. I guess no one wants to challenge Super Movie Brother Dave's horror movie knowledge. I don't know. No, you and Loin Sauce can't play. You have to host the show. You have to be on the show, Justin. You can't be part of trivia and win prizes.
It's not fair. Damn it, it's not fair. It's not fair. I can't play any games. I want to play.
And then, wrapping out Saturday night, this is actually really, really special. This is going to be really, really great. I had the chance to be on this podcast recently. It's a Star Wars role-playing podcast from our very own Shampoo, #ShutUpShampoo, Loot Quest, from 10:30 on. Like, the show is supposed to end at midnight on Saturday. We're just going to start at 10:30 and just go with Loot Quest. And Caleb from Netflix and Swill, John from Now Technicolor, and Super Movie Brother Dave are all part of that as well. And I got to play a protocol droid, Justin, who had a speech impediment. It was really, really fun.
Ooh, that sounds just right up your alley. Perfect.
Oh my God. For Sunday, we've got the Da podcast. Really, really, really excited about that. Just signed up today, Steve from that show. Adam Higgins from the On Dead Out podcast, who actually would like to have us on his show, Justin, ahead of the live stream for the Cure. We got to get in touch with him and set that up. Netflix and Swill's doing a 1-star movie Sunday afternoon. We have the Idiosyncrasy Files coming up Sunday afternoon, and Perry and Lindsay from Hello Life and the Pod Stuff. And aside from all that stuff, spotlights for the Indiana Jones trilogy. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much your programming list for the live stream for the Cure, aside from free-for-alls and stream games and all sorts of stuff where we're just going to play games on the stream with people who are watching, people who are on the air. It can be a free-for-all. People can jump in. People can jump out on the Discord. We're just going to have a lot of fun with those. So if you want to take part in the event, if you want to be in a featured programming block, we still have a few available, and we still need a lot of guests for a lot of these segments. So please, please, please hit us up over on Twitter or over on Facebook if you'd like to take part in any of these amazing segments. It's gonna be so much fun, Justin. It's gonna be so much fun. The amount of people
like
that are already on board for this is crazy.
We need to reach out, tell everyone you know, every single person you know, anyone you think will be interested, anyone that you know that loves podcasts, have them listen for a great cause, have them get involved for a great cause. Hey, I designed that shirt. It looks good. maybe trying to get laid, you could buy this shirt. You know, good cause, you donate the money, you go in the bar, get a drink, you might get something out of it too. You know, benefits.
Check.
I don't know what Loy Sauce has to do with this. Where'd he come from?
I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know either. But also, go ahead and check out the most recent episode 195 of the Angry Old Man podcast. I wrote a short play. I talked about this a couple weeks ago for his podcast, and I actually did a quote-unquote interview where he pre-recorded some questions of the different characters he does, asking me questions. I gave answers, sent them back, and he actually responded to them. And so he put together this whole interview and then did the play that I wrote for him, this little short play where his characters visit a hot dog shop called something Footlongs. I can't remember what it is. Papa's Footlongs. That's what it is. Papa Footlong today. Justin, pop a footlong. Yes.
Don't even say his name. Okay. It's not happening. Talking those footlongs, baby. Ooh, yeah.
How dare you?
I agree, Paul. Son of a bitch. But I think this was pretty short and sweet, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have a lot of other content. No trailers this week. No epic previews. I didn't get the chance to see shit. So I don't have anything. I have nothing for anybody aside from this Marvel discussion we're going to get into, which is going to air as its own minisode next Monday. I know. What are you doing with your face? This is why you guys need to check out the live stream when we do these live events. These videos are always available on YouTube after the fact if you guys want to watch them after the fact. But Justin's fucking sitting here like rocking back and forth in his chair like a goddamn madman.
Just because I know that I have to talk about Marvel Phase 2, and I'd much rather go over here and watch Scream 4. And just sit right next, I could just watch it. Can I watch Scream 4 as we talk about Phase 2?
Fuck off, Justin.
Thank you, Dan. But that's going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are amazing. Everybody out there that listens to the show, if you're a new listener and you made it this far, first of all, congratulations. We should give away medals for people that actually listen to the end of all of our shows because, man, it's absolutely crazy. Get over to iTunes. Give us that subscription. Throw us that 5-star review over on iTunes. Subscribe to the show on Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, BluBrry, Overcast. We live stream on YouTube. We're everywhere. We're everywhere.
Everywhere you could possibly
We are the
think
herpes of the
Everywhere.
podcast universe.
Certainly
Wait,
are.
do we want to be known as that?
I think I might have a few bumps still down there from my last breakout, so I don't really care. I'll be honest about it. Who gives a shit? Go check us out. We're on all social media platforms.
Everywhere.
Instagram, guys, Twitter at Epic Film Guys, Facebook, Epic Film Guys, you name it. As long as we're doing this, you're going to see content. So come check us out all over, wherever you go. And your favorite podcast app, like Nick just said, we're on all of them, right? All of them? All the important ones, at least, right?
We are on all of the important ones. And, well, I'm pretty sure we are. I don't even know. There might be more. I also wanted to announce, for great justice, Justin, for great justice, I defeated the evil, dark, horrible, negative, whatever you want to call him, Shock Top himself, ladies and gentlemen, this guy. Wait a minute, hang on. I don't have the sound cued. Ladies and gentlemen, I defeated over on the countdown, top 10 movie fights.
Hooray!
I thrashed him. Actually, I didn't thrash him. It was a close vote. It was a pretty close vote, but he basically tailored his entire list to troll me. Like, he put Karate Kid in there. He put fucking Roadhouse in there. He put, like, everything he knew I would get a rise out of, he put in there. And I picked some fights. I had Rocky versus Apollo from the first fucking Rocky movie I had in there, Justin. I think you would have been pretty proud of my list.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, that was my number 2, actually. Yeah,
so,
that was my number 2.
Unlike you, and I'm very proud of you for your list. Unlike you, though, I did vote for you. I did vote for your list. I went over there and I voted.
Well, I can't be held responsible for that kind of thing. When Justin takes part of these polls and stuff like that, I'll be like, what the fuck? He'll do these things and he'll pick lists of shit that I've never seen. Like when he did the horror movie thing, I had never seen any of the movies he voted for. I was like, I've never seen any of those movies.
But I have to be a contrarian in some sense because that's what you are. So I feel like when I go on the things to do the things, that I have to kind of channel you in a sense and go, I have to pick one thing that people are going to give me shit for, or else it won't be fun.
Damn!
Yeah, that's very true. But it was a lot of fun. It was so much fun being on the countdown. Thank you very much, Paul, eternally, from the bottom of my heart. And Wayne,
what's up, my Nubian friend?
Yes, get well soon. He got his Terminator hip installed. He is half machine, half Asian, half something else. I don't know what. I don't even know.
Half lover boy. Half lover boy. Oh yeah,
well, he's all lover boy. He's man. Just listen to the emphasis.
I sucked a dick last night.
That is not somebody that doesn't give 110%. That's not. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you very, very much for listening to the show. And Justin, go away.
For myself, for Nick, for
Me?
the sauce, A1 Lloyd Choss, A1 steak sauce, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Lloyd
Denny, Epic Mo fucking Film Frog, and that one drunk, dirty, homeless bastard that likes to show up at the show
Stop
randomly.
ganging up on me!
No, not you, Denny.
Thanks for listening to the Epic
all
Film Guys podcast.
Very, very much for listening. Oh my god.
And we will see you at the movies.
You're not my fucking mother!
Who keeps inviting him in here? We love cock. Who said that? Keep recording. We'll just keep recording. Let's switch my image back over. There we go. Anybody still over there in the live stream? You guys are awesome, by the way, for hanging out with us during the show. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. You guys are awesome, as always. We love you. I got to figure out something to do, like, with the YouTube chat. Maybe I can truncate it a little bit, get it closed in there. What the hell? Yes, I'm still here. I'm clearly still fucking here. Oh, my God. Jesus. All right. Are you ready to do this, bitch?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. You want to get pumped up, Justin? You want to get pumped up before we do this? Let's do it. Let's get pumped up. Let's do it. Let's roll into this thing, Justin, in 5, 4, 3, 2. And that was it. That was it. That was Marvel Phase 2. Hi, Dan. All right. One more time. 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome, everyone, to another special minisode event as we lead in to the release of Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War, that is, Justin. The big smash 'em up, 10 years in the making, massive Marvel thing that they're doing. I don't know what you want to call it. Hi,
Lots
Justin.
of characters, lots of villains, lots of things happening, lots of people fighting each other. it's the end of an era, so to speak, because we've led up to this after 10 years of watching these movies, and everyone is super excited about it. There hasn't been an event movie like this in a while, I feel like, with so many movies, actually ever, where there's been that many movies, solo movies, sequels, team-up movies, you know, leading up to one point where you know that shit's going to hit the fan. I'm super excited. As you said, you could feel it in the air, man. When you go to the movies, you see the poster, you hear people talking about it. Like, this is the end all be all, I feel like, for the genre. This has to be good. So in preparation for this, we decided, yes, we were going to maybe somewhat suffer through talking about some movies that we said at one point we might not ever talk about again. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about this evening Phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Now, this is interesting. This is unique in the history of most of this, because you lived up here back during most of these Phase 2 movies. So you and I went to see. Did we go to see every single one of these together, or was it almost all of them?
No, I moved here and saw 2 of them after.
So that would have been Avengers and Ant-Man.
That's right.
Yep.
And
yeah,
Age
okay.
of Ultron and Ant-Man, yeah.
Yep. So we saw Iron Man 3 together. We saw Thor: The Dark World together. We saw Captain America: Winter Soldier, and we saw Guardians of the Galaxy together. And we did video review. I think was it just of Guardians? I think we just did a video review of Guardians. That was after.
That's correct. Yes.
The video version of the Epic Film Guys podcast started, and that was one of those videos we posted on YouTube a long time ago where I got a bunch of death threats just because I shit all over it.
You did. You were a hateful entity against that film. And I was a little bit more kind to it, and I have over the years. I mean, let's face it, that film was 4 years ago, so I have definitely kind of really warmed up to it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with this.
We're going to talk about Phase 2, and I will make no secret about this. I think that Phase 2 is, by a country mile, the worst of anything that Marvel's ever done, period. Like, just really just absolute complete shit and garbage. Justin just shut off his camera. He's so angry at the thought of talking about Marvel Phase 2. Did your camera time out on you? Yeah,
it did. It timed out. Oh man, I did not specifically turn that off on you. No, I'm not doing anything under the table here that I don't want you to see. Because to be fair, you already know that if I was doing something, I'd want you to see it. So I'm not hiding anything here. Nothing to be hid on the Epic Film Guys podcast. But no, I mean, to be fair, let's get it out of the way. Okay, so Phase 2 started with probably the only Marvel film that pissed me off so bad that when I walked out of the theater. This is back when you and I would actually go to a movie together. We would have beers beforehand. We would go watch the movie. And then sometimes we would just sit in your car and talk for sometimes 30 minutes and sometimes like 4 hours in the car after we saw the movie, whether we loved it or hated it, really wanted to actually just flesh out our thoughts on it and get it out of the way, because that was what we did. And Iron Man 3 was that film. Iron Man 3 was that first movie that, you know, out of all of them, I was like, man, you're really going to give me that movie after Avengers, which is one of the best comic book movies ever made? I mean, go back in time a little bit, Nick, to 2013. Think about it. Do you remember the night? I remember we went and saw it at AMC in Vestal together. It was a midnight showing we saw. I couldn't have been more disappointed.
In Marvel, in Phase 1 overall was good. I really enjoyed the films in Phase 1, except for Iron Man 2, probably because that film was more of a mess than anything else. But it ended on a high note. It ended with Avengers, which is still pound for pound one of the top films the MCU has ever put out. And then they follow it up with Iron Man 3. And let's get this out here from the onset, Justin. We're not comic readers. So we don't approach Iron Man 3 from this aspect of everybody else, like, oh my god, the Mandarin's this big awesome character in the comics and you made him a joke, blah blah blah. Like, I don't care about what he is in the comics because I don't read comic books. Justin doesn't read comic books. So but the villain twist didn't work for you. It didn't work for me either. We didn't like it. It just did not It didn't work for us.
If you're gonna tell me you're gonna give me the Mandarin, even though I don't read comics, I do know who the Mandarin is. I do know enough about a movie where leading up to it, I do my research, and I did, as I said on our Phase 1 retrospective, I did grow up watching the Iron Man cartoon in the 90s, and and when I was younger, I did read comics. It's just as an adult, I don't do it currently. So when I got that as the villain, I go, dude, the Mandarin to Iron Man is like what the Joker is to Batman. What Clown is to Spawn, you name it. He is the arch nemesis of our title hero. And when we got Ben Kingsley cast in the role, you're like, dude, how is this not going to be amazing? Casting. And then, of course, it turned out not being the case at all. Actually, it turned out being one of the most disappointing things ever. And we have Guy Pearce in the film. Okay, and I love Guy Pearce. Let's make no mistake there. Man, thinking about this movie just makes me frustrated because over time since this movie, I mean, I've really grown to love everything else Shane Black has done. And up until that point, knowing that Shane Black was doing it got me really excited. Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang, everything he's done. I actually almost every single thing else he's done or been involved with, I love, except for Iron Man 3. And it's very frustrating to me. But I will say this much, Nick, and I'm not going to totally hate on Iron Man 3 in every way, because I feel like as a character piece for Tony Stark, I feel like it is probably the strongest out of any solo Iron Man movie that's out there.
I wouldn't disagree with that at all. I actually would agree with that 100%. But I think the problem is that and I get what the film's going for. The film wants to sell that the villain isn't always the big flashy, centerpiece that you see. But the problem is that after they dispel the whole thing and the Mandarin's really just an actor, Ben Kingsley's just an actor, and Ben Kingsley is great in the film. I don't want to take that away from him. But then
he's
Guy
great.
Pearce legitimately strolls through this fucking film after this, chewing so much goddamn scenery. Like, I'm surprised there were sets left by the end of it. He was chewing so much of it. He was so fucking ridiculously over the top. It was absurd. And I mean, this is really, Phase 2 is where Marvel's villains, and Justin and I, when this podcast started, we hated on Marvel all the time because we hated their villains. And Phase 2 is really where their villains started to just start taking massive shits. Every single film, it was how bad is this
I would
film
have to
gonna
say,
be?
I would have to say that out of, as you just said, Phase 2 is like the worst out of the phases we've gotten so far. It is the worst phase for villains as well, in my opinion.
By far.
Yeah.
By far. So Iron Man 3, the twist just doesn't work for me. Like, the twist, like I said, if you would have made Guy Pearce a better villain, and I think he's just not interesting. He's just not, like, you don't buy the retribution that he wants to get against Tony. You just, it just doesn't ring true. He just is like this butthurt douchebag. And
exactly
that he just fucking goes about chewing up scenery. And it's just like, you went with this whole thing. You had Ben fucking Kingsley cast in the role. You made him, this amazing, like, intense, formidable villain. And then you just immediately job it away and sweep it away. And then you just, like I said, you bring in Guy Pearce and he's just like, I am the Mandarin. Like, he was so absurdly, like, he was more over the top than Arnold is Mr. Freeze. He was that fucking over the top for me. Just insane.
But Arnold as Mr. Freeze is enjoyable and one of the best movie villains.
Well, he
of
is
all
the
time.
greatest movie villain of all time.
I find that unlikely.
See, he even finds that unlikely.
Exactly. But I mean, there are some scenes in Iron Man 3 that I really enjoy. Like I said, as a character piece for the character of Tony Stark, we both agree that it's really good.
Yeah, it does do some good character work for him.
Pepper Potts, Gwyneth Paltrow is fantastic in it. As little as we see her in the film. And one of my favorite scenes is when Stark's at his home and it gets like basically bombed and blown away and destroyed. Yeah. I liked that scene. There are little things that I like about it, but as a
good
film,
set pieces,
walking away, I mean, when you look at Iron Man, as we talked about on our Phase 1 retrospective, it is one of the staples. It is one of the best comic book movies ever, one of the most enjoyable. And you could blame Favreau for that, even though he did direct Iron Man 2, which we did not care for. Iron Man 3, I don't know what they were going for with it, but it didn't work for me, and it didn't work for a lot of people. But moving on from that, Nick, to what I would consider probably, definitely in my opinion, I would say the second worst, if not the worst, Marvel Cinematic Universe film that's been released ever, Thor: The Dark World. Oh my God, they walked through this fucking movie. There's nothing redeeming about this movie at all to me, other than the exchanges between Thor and Loki, which of course, that's a given. But other than that, man, it features okay, I'll say the second worst Marvel villain ever put to screen.
I'm just gonna.
Oh no!
I have to.
Wrong! Now shut the fuck up and let me do my job.
Stop it, you weak, you baby! Shut up! Shut up!
Fuck this movie. What a fucking piece of shit. Jesus Christ. You take Christopher Eccleston, who's a great actor, and you give him, like, legitimately Malekith the Dark. What a fucking piece of shit this villain was. This was really, truly the phase where Marvel just straight up did not give a fuck. And you put Alan fucking Taylor in the chair, and he just turns out one of the most mediocre pieces of shit. This is why Thor Ragnarok went in such a radically different direction. This film. Because it's so bad. The villain's bad. You've still got Natalie Portman, who's a fantastic actress. They just don't know what to do with her.
And she
nobody
sleepwalks through
cares.
it. And she didn't want to come back for it in the first place. Let's make that clear. She fought tooth and nail to try to get out of it.
Well,
but
it was
since
supposed to have.
Thor
It was
a
supposed to
big
have a
hit-
female director originally, and then they brought in Taylor because I think
Yeah.
it was supposed to have a female director, and then she championed the female director, and she almost walked with her. But I think she was under contract or something.
She was
like
under
that. I'm not
contract. That's
sure.
right. She couldn't get out of the contract, so she's stuck there along with this mediocre shit film, and it shows. I mean, let's make this clear: the chemistry between our main cast is there. That's always going to be there in Marvel movies because they always have that
Yeah,
right. They
Hemsworth is
cast
still great in the role.
right
yeah.
people. Yeah, Hemsworth's great in the role. Hopkins is not as good in this one. But I mean, of course, Loki shines. Hiddleston as Loki is fantastic. Portman just looks like she doesn't want to be there. We've seen her in plenty of movies where she looks that way. You could tell, like, hey, I'm getting paid at like 3.5 million for a woman. She probably got paid like 300 grand for this movie. To be honest, but there's nothing fun about this movie. There's nothing entertaining about this movie. Everything that made us love the first Thor film, and I know you'll go out on a limb and talk about this a little bit more, that Shakespearean aspect of the first film is out the window. And you think by going into Asgard a little bit more would make you enjoy it a little bit more? Not at all.
Yeah, it's Kenneth Branagh directed the first Thor film, and a lot of people like to give it shit, but I really love that Shakespearean feeling that he gave to Asgard. All the Asgard scenes, I love the father-son relationship that he builds between Odin and Loki, and Odin and Thor, and then the brotherly relationship between Thor and Loki is great. The stuff that continues on from the first film, like those relationships are still by far the best aspect of this. But let's be 100% honest. You get a man in the chair who has legitimately the briefest wisp of talent that is quickly blown away, like off it flies. And then you just have a story that just has a villain that is meaningless. When you take your villain, and this is when we really started shitting on Marvel villains, was their entire villain's backstory and his entire purpose is explained in like a 60-second prologue. And that's it. That's all you ever get out of that fucking villain. It was just terrible. It was just a horrible,
here's the thing.
Horrible piece of shit.
He could have been really cool too. The idea of Thor, the quote unquote dark world, could have been amazing. I love the way that the dark elves looked. I loved everything about that sense of it, but like they didn't do anything to develop them. And when we see them, they're worthless. They're weak. They don't do anything. There's no great fight at the end that I felt had any impact. I mean, just nothing about the movie in any way, even as just a regular action blockbuster, nothing.
I'm awake.
Nothing.
I'm awake. I can't even talk about it anymore because it's just that bad. It is just that bad. But fortunately, Justin,
moving on from
the
that,
heels
Nick,
of that.
Yeah.
On the heels of that,
What
and I
about-
think The Winter Soldier. And
it's a fan favorite, man. I mean, this for me is definitely in my top. I've never sat down to actually physically rank them. I know that a lot of people are probably expecting us to do that, but we never actually set out to sit down and rank these. Maybe we will after we watch Infinity War. But for me, this is the film that resonated with me the most, I feel like, out of Phase 2, most definitely above and beyond, and still resonates with me a little bit more than a lot of the Marvel spectacles have been since, because it's such a great character piece for Cap, and it's just so damn good.
There's a reason that the Russos have basically been given the keys to the kingdom as far as the MCU is concerned. There's a reason why they come back to do Civil War and why they're directing both of the Avengers films, Infinity War and whatever the sequel to Infinity War is going to end up being. There's a reason why. There's a reason why, because this film is as good as it is. Now, I have problems with this film. I still dislike the fact that you only get legitimately like 3 minutes or 4 minutes of screen time from Bucky in this film. Jared did make a good point last week when we were talking about this, though, that Hydra's really the main villain of this film.
And I agree with him.
It's
I
not
do
Bucky.
agree.
But even still.
But, again, to cut you off there, but dude, he's so fucking good in it though, and those scenes are so good with him in Cabinet, and the fights are so good with him in it. You're like, dude, why can't I have more of that? You know, it really teases you a little bit where you're like, dude, that's a little bit more of the movie that I wanted out of this, because make no mistake, this film features the best hand-to-hand combat in the whole out of any of the Marvel films.
Well, and let's talk about that as well. Let's talk about the action set pieces in this film versus especially the two films that preceded it in Phase 2. Both basically super effects heavy orgasms, and this film was shot much more practically, much more realistically, where you get to get in there with Cap, you feel those punches. The action set pieces in the Winter Soldier are fantastic. Even the car chase with Fury is fantastic.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it. It's one of my favorites. It's got like an espionage political thriller feel to it, and that's what they're doing. And make no mistake, we're fully aware of this, that with each one of these movies that are like, hey, let's make this a heist thriller. Hey, let's make this a political thriller action movie. They're really trying to do something different with each one of these movies. Hey, let's make this a fantasy, a fun fantasy action spectacle. Everything they're trying to do is specific to the property they're handling at that time. And that's why when we saw the Winter Soldier, for me at least, like, it took me back a little bit. I was like, whoa, I loved the first Captain America, but I mean, there's no question. This is probably one of my favorite solo Marvel films, if not
easily
one of my
top
favorite
3 for
solo.
me. Easily top 3. Probably
ever.
My number 2 if I were to be honest. Probably my number 2.
Wow. Only behind what? Avengers?
The first Avengers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, because at this point, nothing's been able to beat Avengers, but we're going to get into Phase 3 when we get to Phase 3. So bear with us, guys. Seriously, because there's a lot to talk about here. But this movie really hit a nerve in the sense that, like I said, the hand-to-hand combat is great. It's gritty. It's got that muted tone to it, that muted look. And the character stuff for Cap is perfect. It's just brilliant. We get introduced to Falcon as well, who's a great character. We get to see grow a lot in the films that happen after this. And his relationship with Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson is just fantastic. I mean, she's great in all of these movies, but in this one, I feel like she had more opportunity to have a performance, because there's the slower parts of it where there's just more dialogue, and they're, when they're stuck in the bunker, and that's the stuff that I really like to see a little bit more out of the female characters in the MCU. And I really love this film so much. I agree with you. I really love Sebastian Stan as Bucky a lot. The main thing that I had a problem with,
probably one of those things where he was so good you just wanted that much more of him, to be honest.
It's the most development you get for that character is in the end credits scene, when he goes to the museum and he kind of tries to figure out who he is and who Cap is, and he's trying to remember things and he's trying to regain his memory. That to me was very frustrating, because that's the stuff that I would have preferred to see a little bit more in the actual meat of the film rather than all the way at the end. Again, when you put the character's name in the title of the movie, and the trailers definitely, Nick, I'm sure you remember, the trailers definitely led you to believe, like,
I'm pretty sure most of Bucky's screen time, if not all of it, is in the trailers for Winter Soldier, because there's so little of it.
Exactly. So that's literally my only. We both gave the Winter Soldier a great rating. I would still continue to give it a great rating right now.
It's a great film. Great film.
I love it to death. It's one of the best comic book movies ever made, right up there with the Avengers, The Dark Knight, you name it. So I have nothing more bad to say about it other than just more Winter Soldier. Would have liked more Winter Soldier.
All right. Well, to move on from there to a film that unfortunately we're going to be pretty split on, because I'm standing on an island alone when it comes to this movie. We're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy, and I know I'm going to let you love up on this film before I start shitting on it. So I'll let you have at.
I mean, well, I feel like here's the thing, though. I feel like you don't shit on it as much as you're more disappointed by it, because there are things about these movies that, even though you act like you shit on it, you love a lot of things about them. It's
Well,
not like you're
and I'll
going
say
in
this
and you're
about
saying,
it, like from the onset. Let me say this about it from the onset. Worst villain in Marvel, period. Ronan the Accused is by far Marvel's worst villain. I would say he's the worst villain because he has like, with what his plan is, and with the power that he has with the Infinity Stone that he has, he instead decides to just not fucking do anything with it and instead just watch Peter Quill fucking dance. Like, he is pound for pound the worst fucking villain. And I'm sorry, but for me to make a great hero or to make a great group of heroes, even though I absolutely love the chemistry amongst the entire group of the actual Guardians of the Galaxy, Ronan he's just so terrible. He sucks away so much of the energy and so much of the goodness that this film could have been. And, you know, Lee Pace is a great fucking actor, but I'm sorry, it's just he's terrible. Ronan the Accused is fucking terrible.
Okay. So all that aside, I will admit openly, if you go back and listen to our original YouTube video review, which is still on our YouTube channel right now, it's there. Go listen to it. I was a little bit more harsh on the film. I mean, I came into it knowing that it was getting so much love. And I love James Gunn. Dude, I love Slither. I love everything he had done prior to that. And he's a great talent. I love his sensibilities as a director. And I still love what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy to this day. But I do agree with Nick in the sense that at the time, like, really what I was frustrated with is that, again, villain. Like, dude, I really want a good villain. And every one of these movies, we may even get potential. I feel like there was a lot of potential for a great villain out of Ronan in this. And he just became, again, another random, generic, I'm going to do this because that's what I'm set here to do. And a villain is supposed to do these things. So I'm going to, run of the mill, paint by numbers, go through the action. That's what you used to call Marvel, paint by numbers, because of that.
Yeah. And the biggest problem I have with Ronan the Accused isn't that he doesn't have the power to execute his plan and he's thwarted by the heroes. It's because he is let down by the script. You know what holds Ronan the Accused back? Do you know what defeats Ronan the Accused? It's the fucking script of this film. He has an Infinity Stone. He has the ability to do all of this fucking shit. He lands on the fucking planet and he just watches Peter Quill fucking dance. It's so insulting to me as an audience member that I'm just like you have this guy that has this kind of power and this is what he says his objective is, but then he might as well just be standing there fucking masturbating and blowing his load on the camera right in my face as a fucking audience member, because that's what I felt like watching Ronan the Accused. You take all the good things about this movie, the amazing chemistry amongst this fucking team. Dave Bautista as fucking Drax is amazing in this fucking movie. I love Chris Pratt. I love him from Parks and Rec. I love him as Peter Quill.
Dude, the whole cast of this is amazing.
Yeah, Zoe Saldana's fucking amazing. Even Vin
Bradley
Diesel
Cooper
saying 3 words is great.
Come on, we're talking about it right now. The cast of this movie is definitely, make no mistake, one of the best out of any Marvel film ever released. And the chemistry that this team has together, it's a team up movie.
It's great.
And it's a great throwback to retro movies. With all the little throwbacks, and it's not forced. It's not forced the way that I thought that Ready Player One was forced, where the music fits. The soundtrack is so amazing. This is the movie that set off the whole trend of having your whole movie soundtrack filled with retro rock and roll songs. And ever since then, every movie's tried to copycat it and tried to replicate it. And none of them
including one insanely shitty movie from the DCEU. Suicide Squad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Something in the
something in the
throat there.
Let's not ever talk about that one again. But I mean, I had a lot of problems with this initially, but the more and more I watched this movie, Nick, I fell in love with the great aspects of it. And I kind of just took the villain aspect of it and threw it in the backseat. I totally get what you're saying, dude. I still have those feelings about it, but all the positives outweigh the negatives. And when I sit back and watch this movie, it is by far probably the most fun movie that Marvel has ever put out this far. It's still one of my favorites.
It's definitely got those fun aspects to it. I can't deny anything that you're saying. I think that's just the difference between us as viewers watching this film, because I can't take that stuff and just throw it in the backseat. For me, like I said, to make a great group of heroes, you need a great villain to menace them. Not a villain who basically, like I said, he might as well just be standing there with his dick in his hand, because that's what I felt like he was doing that entire fucking movie, was just standing there with his dick in his hand.
This was at the point, though, and we have yet to really reflect on this. We might as well bring this up when we're talking about this movie. Another huge huge problem that the both of us had with this phase, especially, is that this phase focused even more on the world building aspect than phase one. I mean, it started a lot more in the end of phase one, but in this phase, it was like it really ramped it up, and it was like more about building the world and leading to the next big spectacle film. Than
This
really
phase was
on the film
huge
at
with
hand.
that.
Yeah,
way worse than any of the other phases, because you had, you know, basically entire plots in it. We'll talk about this when we talk about the next film as well, because the next film is huge. It's the biggest problem as far as I'm concerned with Age of Ultron. But you have all these massive scenes where you have these characters, like they go and meet the Collector, and he tells them this whole thing about the Infinity Stones, and it's all just seeds, planting seeds for all this little stuff. And it's fine to do world building if you do it in small doses, but the problem is in a lot of these phase 2 films especially, it's not in small doses, it's fucking shovelfuls. You get buried by the shit. And Age of Ultron, which we'll talk about next, is by far the worst offender of that, by a country fucking mile.
But might as well get it out of the way, Nick. Let's get it out of the way, because we're moving from one movie that I'd watch any night of the week with a few beers with some friends, to a movie that, even though I own it on Blu-ray, I decided this. I'm not sure if you know this or not, but I had said after we watched this one that I'd never watch it again. And one day I was in the grocery store down the street from me, and
you watched it in the grocery store?
No. They had it in this aisle, Nick, where they offer used at a grocery store, used Blu-rays and DVDs.
Wow.
And they had Age of Ultron used on Blu-ray. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give this one a second chance. There are a couple scenes in this that I really enjoyed. I'll give it another chance. And when this movie has Avengers as its main title, and you watch it a second time and you're like, okay, I'll give it a second shot, it's still one of the most disappointing movies they ever put out.
Stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Exactly.
Dude, those trailers were so good. Do you remember those trailers? Go back in time. Go back to 2015. Think about those trailers that had. Yep. Were they not like the best, most exciting trailers ever?
This film had so much promise. You have James Spader, who is one of the greatest character actors of our generation. He can imbue any character with the greatest amount of life. He is amazing. You cast him as Ultron. Perfect casting. You're bringing the Avengers back together. You're bringing in Ulysses Claw for the first time. Andy Serkis, absolutely amazing. You have the Hulkbuster versus Hulk fight, which is by far this film's best asset.
Oh, it definitely is. Love it.
Far. Absolutely love that action set piece. And then the problem with this film is, as we talked about, and a lot of people like to shit on the Hawkeye aspect of this film. I will actually defend that, because I really think it was really good.
I like it.
To focus
like it
on Hawkeye as kind of that, like, representation of humanity in the face of all these like godlike beings and whatnot that have all these powers. And it was really, really great to see his character develop. You get Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, who are basically just shit. Just especially Quicksilver. Aaron Taylor Johnson is Quicksilver. Especially you got Days of Future Past this same year, and Days of Future Past Quicksilver blows this motherfucker out of the water by
Evan
1,000.
Peters really knocked it out of the park. And in the sense that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in this movie, they're a second thought to what we were seeing in the forefront. They're just there to be there just because they can be there. And there was that little back and forth between, at the time, Fox and Marvel and what was going on, and they're both trying to get out these characters at the same time. And the whole thing at the end, let's face it, if you haven't seen the film yet, I'm sorry if you haven't, but the whole sacrificing of characters you just introduced in the film, there's no stake in it.
It's weightless.
It means nothing.
You don't care.
No emotion, but you don't care. And this film features, I'd probably say, not the worst, but the most disappointing villain out of any of them, because you had the most potential. As you said earlier on with Ronan, this is probably, for me, the most disappointing, because he looks awesome. He sounds awesome. You could do so much with him. Yet he ends up turning into the most weak-minded Saturday morning cartoon that you've ever seen in a comic book movie. Yeah. And I really, really love Joss Whedon. I really do. Let's not hate on him for his mistakes as much as, really just put him up on your shoulders for the great stuff that he's done. But in this case, we know that this is the movie where he decided he wasn't going to make any more Marvel movies, because of the simple fact that, guess what? Marvel meddled with his movie. They had more creative input than he had in the film, and they really took it over and really changed the movie he wanted to make. He's come out on record and said it many times. And who knows what this movie could have been if they hadn't gone in and really made him do their bidding. And I don't know what that would have been. I have no idea what it would have been. There's no way to ever know at this point. But I feel like this movie could have been really good. Do I think it could have lived up to the first Avengers? No, but I think it could have been the best part of Phase 2 outside of the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and the biggest problem that this film has for me, as we mentioned before, is the world building. There's a whole fucking subplot in the third act of this movie where fucking Thor wanders off and goes to this fucking vision pool and sees all these fucking different visions of all this different shit that's supposed to happen. The film, you know, has that whole Scarlet Witch thing where she makes Tony Stark see all the Avengers dead, and that's why he dreams up the whole Avengers thing. There's so much world building in this goddamn film. You just got to tell the fucking story. Let all that stuff sit in the background. You don't need to dedicate entire fucking plots to it. And then and I've lamented this a lot of times when we talk about superhero films, is that superhero films as a genre seem to have this trope where they have to have this bombastic, massive CGI action set piece for a finale. Jared mentioned it over here in the live stream. The final fight sequence is just boring as fuck. It's just endless CGI robots. Just like there's that shot of them all in the thing where they're all surrounding whatever the device is to keep the island afloat or whatever the fuck it is. I don't even remember. But just robot after robot after robot after robot, like thousands and thousands of fucking robots, and they're just knocking them away like they're fucking toys. Like it's just this film gave us some good things. I won't say that it didn't, but my God, what a fucking disappointment this film was, especially with how great the first Avengers film was. And think about like how great the Winter Soldier is. But the other big problem with this fucking film, Justin, it's the same fucking movie as the first one. The villain's plot. What's the villain's plot? Oh, to turn the Hulk against the Avengers. Well, wow. Reach deep into that fucking well. And then what's your ultimate plan? By throwing 1,000 million billion disposable fucking henchmen at them while, you know, the lead bad guy is like, whoa.
And I get it. And I get that's there for the mainstream viewer, the kids in the audience. They want to see all that stuff happen. I get this is a big budget spectacle. This is what kids are going in to see. So I get that they're taking that into consideration when they're making this movie. But for me, the whole ending and the going out of the way to make sure that we see the Avengers save as many people as possible felt shoehorned in. It felt really forced for me because all of the arguments, and yes, the arguments stem from what happened in Man of Steel, a film that you and I both love, a film that I love so much that, yes, in the live stream you can see it. It's tattooed on my fucking arm for life because I love that movie so much. Because of the arguments that people were like, we didn't get to see Superman save anyone. We didn't get to see superheroes save anyone. In this movie, they decided to go out of their way to spend so much time at the end of this movie.
Scene after scene,
every other scene. Oh, we're going to lift this person up and pull this person up. We already obviously assume that these heroes are saving people. They're heroes. We know they're doing it. I don't picture in the back of my head any hero from the DCEU or the MCU letting people fall to their death on purpose, where in this it's forced. So, I mean, there are so many things about this movie that I enjoy, and I admit that I did give it a second try. And again, there are a lot of fun moments to be had. Like you said, the Hulk versus Hulkbuster scene, still one of the best out of all the Marvel films.
Well, and I've seen that mentioned a really great one over in the live stream as well. The party scene is great at the beginning of the film.
Fun. I love the party
like Ultron's
scene.
Birth scene, like the first scene that Ultron shows up in, like that's a great scene.
Yeah,
like that was
leading
when
up to
this
that
film
is
was
great.
good, and then the film just immediately fucking nosedived. It was like,
it's not without its merits. Again, this is not us taking the opportunity to shit on this movie just to hate it. There are great things about all of these movies, but in this sense, this is one of the most disappointing because it had forward momentum. You had the first Avengers, which is great, and you had a movie you had two movies right before this that were, you know, really enjoyable. I feel bad for Whedon. I understand the pressure now. And you don't see him doing any other big budget stuff anymore, do you? No,
he's not even involved in that Batgirl film anymore. So
he's not doing anything else. So
yeah,
that's
so
the toll
I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess we've only got one film left to talk about, Justin. This tiny, teeny, itty bitty little film, and then you blow
almost
it
like
up,
an ant,
and you
almost
make
like
it
an ant
grow.
you could step on, right?
Now, I mean, I think I'll say this for Ant-Man. I don't think Ant-Man's a bad film. I think Ant-Man's a very enjoyable film that also, unfortunately, features one of the worst fucking villains.
The worst
in Marvel.
The fucking worst.
He's,
the worst.
He is.
This is
so
my,
close to the
most,
worst for me. I just give Ronan a tiny bit of an edge there, but Jesus Christ, the Yellow Jacket is fucking garbage.
The reason why he's the worst, because number one, the name of the fucking character is Yellow Jacket. Okay, I get Ant-Man.
I'm gonna sing you.
I get Ant-Man. Okay, Ant-Man. Okay, whatever. Ant-Man was created in the comics at a time where they would put anything in front of Dash Man, and that would be your hero. So I get it. But seriously, he is one of the most generic, weak villains ever put on screen.
It's really sad too. Once again, Marvel does this thing, and they do this in Phase 3. We'll continue the discussion when we talk about some of the Phase 3 films, where they cast these really amazing actors as villains in these films. Corey Stoll is a great actor, and then
he is
just nothing. But this film does give us Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, which is really, really great. It gives Evangeline Lilly, who is a goddess amongst us all, and she's going to be the Wasp in the next one, which is going to be really, really interesting. And it gives us Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas shows up in this.
Michael Douglas gives this film a whole gravitas.
A little bit of gravitas, yep. And Michael Pena's character is great in this film.
He carries the movie. Let's make no mistake
all those
here. Without
amazing
Michael
comedic
Pena
scenes.
in this movie, all of the comedic stuff. I mean, Paul Rudd's fantastic. He's a great comedy actor, but he wouldn't be anything in this movie without Michael Pena. He's the one that carries this movie. Seriously. There's no question there for me.
Yeah, he added a lot of really, really great humor to it. Like I said, I don't dislike Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man's fine. I think it's okay. I mean, it's better than Age of Ultron was, because at least it doesn't have just a shitload of world building shoveled into it. But it also, it gives you just a pointless CGI blockbuster fucking mega fight at the end between Ant-Man and a villain you just don't give a fuck about. He might as well be fighting a stack of fucking paperweights. Like, you just don't care. Like, you just don't do anything to invest people in these villains. And a lot of people, I've said this a million times, Justin, and we can go back to one of the greatest superhero movies that is or probably will ever fucking be made, in The Dark Knight, with the Joker. You don't have to just give us the character's backstory to make them a great villain, to develop them as a great villain. You have to show them being a menacing, amazing villain. And the problem with Marvel's villains, especially in Phase 2, is they just don't get the screen time that they need to do it.
They don't. They focus so much on their heroes, and that's why people love the heroes. And I think that's just the formula they've kept with, because they know that the mainstream audience, they're going in, they're buying the shirts with the heroes on it, they're buying the action figures, they're dressing up as the heroes for Halloween, and they get it. Their formula works, and we're not here to hate on that formula, because look at it. This is the biggest thing right now in motion picture history. This is the biggest thing. Marvel movies are the biggest thing. Every single Marvel movie banks. Black Panther just broke records. We're going to be talking about in our Phase 3 conversation. Make no mistake there. But I mean, each one of these movies does well. None of these movies have bombed. And Nick, not one of these movies has done horribly critically. None of them. They've done like weaker critically.
Which is shocking, especially considering Phase fucking 2. Jesus.
But none of them have like been outright so rotten where people are like, oh, I'm not going to go see that on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever, even with fans. So at this point, like when a movie like Ant-Man comes out, it has the benefit of momentum. Like, well, okay, this is just Ant-Man, but hey, it's got Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas. What? We're going to go see this. And it has a lot of entertaining moments in it. And I really enjoy this movie because of the fact that, like I said earlier, Marvel takes the advantage in saying, well, this is a character that he gets small, he runs through little things, and he does this. And visually, it's very entertaining. They do a lot of different things with it. But for me, it's more run-of-the-mill, like, okay, it's straight entertainment. Like, it's not a character that I personally love and care about, even though we do get to see him do some cool stuff in Phase 3, which we'll talk about on our next mini-sode. But for me, Ant-Man is serviceable at best. It's entertaining. I like it. It's fun. But it also has my most hated villain of the MCU, a piece of shit villain, a wasted villain, a villain that literally fights on the top of a toy fucking train and spouts off horrible one-liners as he does so. So enraging to me. And I get a lot of people like, well, what do you expect? It's just a comic book movie. What do you want out of these things? You know what I want? I want people that are competent behind the scenes, that are sitting down at that table in the office full of suits saying, you know what? We can make this a little bit better. We can make this a better movie than what people expect it to be. And it's possible.
Doesn't matter what kind of film it is. It doesn't matter what kind of film you're making. You can still develop compelling, interesting characters who you actually give a shit about watching. If you don't do that, then you're not going to sell an audience on it. And it shocks me. It fucking staggers me to know like some of the critical ratings of some of these Phase 2 movies still. It's baffling to me because some of them are just not good. Thor: The Dark World is just not good. It's just not. Ant-Man is just Age of Ultron is not good. Not good. But I think, I don't know, whatever it is. But that's it for Phase 2. Phase 2's over. Justin, we're going to move on next week when we do our mini-sode, even though I'm not going to get a chance to talk about a couple of the films in Phase 3 because I still haven't seen them.
You have to. You actually, here's the only way that I'll do this. I will only do the Phase 3 if you watch the films you haven't seen yet.
Man, that means I'd have to watch Doctor Strange and Spider-Man before I record next week. I don't even know if I'll have the fucking time to do that.
Both of which are actually shining lights, are both very entertaining. I'll say this much, and our people in the live stream right now, we have a couple in there right now. I'm telling you right now, I will only do our Phase 3 discussion if Nick sees. It's 2 movies. You've got some time. We could push it back if you want. It's up to you. But I want you to see Doctor Strange and Homecoming if we're going to talk about those movies.
Man, I'd have to try to figure out some place in there to fucking squeeze them in. Jared over there in the live stream mentioning the Edgar Wright Ant-Man film that never became a thing. And think about an Edgar Wright Ant-Man movie with how fucking great a director Edgar Wright is.
The script
remains one of
has,
those.
Yeah,
one of those things about Marvel that's just like such a heartbreak. Unfortunately, I seen that. Scott LeVar also both over there talking about these films.
But Jared, I'm glad he left. You know why I'm glad he left? Because we got Baby Driver out of it, so I don't give a fuck. You know, alligator mouth towards Baby Driver versus Ant-Man. That's my point of view on it. So
yeah, and I really love Baby Driver, so that was a really good thing. So yeah, I mean that's it. That's Phase 2. Oh Jesus, I'm gonna have to fucking try to fit more shit onto my already overfull plate.
Just two. If you can, like that's my stipulation. We can't talk Phase 3 if you haven't seen those 2. It doesn't make any sense. I can't just sit here and say, Vulture was cool because Michael Keaton played him. He gave the Batman eyes in one scene.
Oh my god.
Hey, it looks like Scott LeVar in the live stream said he wants to watch Spider-Man Homecoming with you together.
Hey, he even said he live far away.
He said he'd bring some beers. Actually, he has 4K over there.
Over, man.
You can watch it in 4K. You can go over to his place and watch it in 4K.
I don't watch things in 4K. It's an inferior format. It's garbage. Anybody that owns a 4K TV should burn it.
Well, maybe you could talk to Marvel and they'll get you a VHS fucking copy of it. You can watch that shit.
I want a VHS copy that's been played like 1,000 times, so it's got really bad tracking lines and shit on it, and like half of the scenes would be really great. But yeah, that's Phase 2. That's Phase 2, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think you could talk to any Marvel fan out there. Any Marvel fan. We had Joey DiCarlo from So Wizard. Phase 2 has his favorite superhero movie of all time, Winter Soldier, and his most hated MCU movie, Age of Ultron. He absolutely was shitting all over it. And Jared Taylor, Winter Soldier, is not only the best of Phase 2, but the best MCU film. It also has the worst film in Thor: The Dark World. So, man, this phase, I mean, aside from Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy, which a lot of people, aside from myself, really love, this phase was just forgettable at best, and at worst, a complete fucking disaster. Just complete shit show. So there it is. Let us know. We're going to post this over in the Hopesters Dumpster. Once it posts up, this will go live next Monday, the 23rd, before we record next week's show. So make sure you let us know your thoughts on Marvel Phase 2 as we continue steamrolling, Justin, toward Infinity War.
Infinity War. I'm super pumped for it. We're all about it. Nick is excited, which is a rare occasion when he's excited about a Marvel movie. So, yes, we are in rare form here, ladies and
gentlemen. It owes it all to the Russos and Black Panther. The Russo brothers and Black Panther. That's the only reason. Because
Nick,
Black Panther was so good, and because the Russos have not let me down in the MCU yet. Most of the MCU has let me down in one way or the other. The Russos have not let me down. They've created 2 mostly really good films.
I don't know if you know this or not, but you mentioned Black Panther, and I don't know. I don't know if you know this or not, but I probably haven't mentioned it on the show. But I met Michael B. Jordan, and he touched me.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Yes, Justin did get to be an extra in that amazing show. I think it's about Bassmasters. It's about fishing.
Yep.
Creed 2.
Fishing.
It's going to be Michael B. Jordan versus Ivan Drago's son out on the lake.
Fishing.
They're both going to be wearing hip waders and shit, like trying to
Fishing.
fit. Justin is actually an extra in like a pond scene. He actually hands Michael B. Jordan his bait and says, "Go catch me a big one."
Well, they wanted me to play a fish at first, and I was like, I really don't know how to do that.
You just don't have the
right for
range to
role.
play a fish. I just don't. You got to really, really get into that mindset. You got to go full method when you try to play a fish. You got to live underwater for a while, swim around, grow some gills. Like, you really got to get into it. Daniel Day-Lewis would grow gills to be a fucking fish. You can do it.
I know. Well, we'll see. But thanks everyone so much for listening to our Phase 2 retrospective episode. Tell us. I'll put up a poll. I'll do a poll again.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
I'll make Nick fit in on his
God
trip.
damn
I'll make
it.
him watch the shit on his phone. Doctor Strange and Spider-Man.
Stop ganging up on me.
Thank you, Denny. Denny speaks for the people.
But that's it for this minisode. So thanks for listening, and thanks to everyone over in the live stream for hanging out with us on this Monday night. It's about midnight. I'm going to watch Scream 4 and drink another beer and eat some Fruity Pebbles and maybe even eat some double stuffed Oreos. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen?
Just pour the beer and put the Oreos into the bowl with the Fruity Pebbles and just eat it all at once.
Okay, I'll do that. what would we call that, though?
I don't even want to know. You guys are amazing out there. Thank you very much, everybody out there, for listening. Check out the main show that dropped earlier than this, where, I don't know, we winged it mostly because we didn't have anything to talk about except Justin saw that one Joaquin Phoenix movie. I'm not here. Where am I? Am I here? How did he get there? Well, thank you all very, very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you
at the movies. Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
I don't know if that was called
for my shrink. I don't know.
We love cock. Who keeps saying that? You guys see, my lips are not moving. See, we love cock. Who's saying it? I don't know who the fuck is saying it. Whose voice is that? I don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the live stream. That's it for everything. Stream. Thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. You guys are the fucking bomb. Diggity.
Well, it's official. I had too much to drink last night.
Maybe.
And I'm out of here. I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
try
watch
to wind
Scream.
myself down. Justin's gone. Hey, we can talk about Justin when he's not here. Oh. You guys are absolutely amazing stream. We're going to go ahead and roll out the outro here. Thank you all very much for listening. And as Justin said, we will see you next week or at the movies or whatever. You guys are the bomb.
was a podcast from the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.